Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm one of your hosts with the mostest, Clayton Kisco, and I'm accompanied by the rest of the Maelstrom gamers. With us today, we have the bad boy himself, Cop Show's #1 fan, Steve Landis.
Cue the music.
Pew pew pew.
Boom, 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 boom. And we got some kind of like crazy thing with the light. I don't even know what's going on over here. The heartthrob, Rocco Avellino.
Dude, I've got magical
Strobe
powers.
effect.
No, this is not a strobe effect. This is my magical energy ball on the top of my head.
If it looks like a strobe effect, we got to put the warning on there because people could have seizures. Rocco, you don't want to be a part of that. And rounding out the cast with us today, we have the Enigma, Ian. Now remember, guys, he's got a mask on his face. We don't want to see this guy's face. We're kind of getting annoyed. We can hear him, but we can't see him. And if you want to do that, you can go on to patreon.com/MaelstromGamers, and you can give as little as $1 to help contribute. And then we have different rewards. If we get to $40 more a month, this mask's coming off. If we get a couple extra more dollars a month, we're going to be doing new shows. We're going to do new stuff. We're going to be taking that money. We're going to put it back into the show. We're going to get like new mics, new video cameras, all that good stuff. Including the show. It's as little as $1. It helps support us, and we would really appreciate it. But listen, we understand if you don't have money either. You can support us for free. You can go on our Facebook page, or you can go on our Twitter. You can like us, follow us. You can follow us at Maelstrom Gamers, and then comment, subscribe. Check out our YouTube page where you can find all these videos at youtube.com/MaelstromGamers. And for those of you who don't know the format of the show, each of these guys, we jump on a Skype. We each have a topic. We bring it for our discussion, but more importantly for your entertainment. And then each topic is doled out Monday through Friday, topic by topic, and then the full episode is on Saturday. You can get it all. You can also go to the YouTube page and check out previous episodes and previous full episodes and topics.
Also, yeah, if you get the bag off his face, you can draw stuff on his face if you want. And we could just...
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we could
No, that would.
draw anything.
with a permanent marker,
that
too.
wouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah, let him go to work like that.
We also have an Instagram account. You can go on our Instagram page, Maelstrom Gamers, and you can check us out. You can follow us there. That free support about following, liking, subscribing, commenting, it's super, super helpful, and we really appreciate it. Those who've been doing it currently, thank you so much. It's awesome. It's been fun to discuss these topics with you.
Amigos and amigas.
That's right. So, without any further ado, let's get rolling here. Rocco, the heartthrob.
All right, I'm going to go. Okay,
I would
I'm
like
going
you to go
first. Here it is. My topic is about afterlife. So, or death, I guess let's just call it too. My point is, I have a question for you guys. There's a lot of religions, spirituality, beliefs of there's an afterlife after this life. And I feel like a lot of people are more looking forward to this idea of this afterlife because it's supposed to be this, great nirvana kind of place instead of actually existing and living life right now here today. So I have a question for you guys, which is, do you guys think that can possibly happen? Do you guys have a belief in the afterlife, something that happens outside of this? And do you think that if you do have that belief, that it hinders you sometimes from actually living today and now with this expectation of something great and grand in the future instead?
Yeah, I feel like we talked a little bit about this when we talked about like ghosts when Steve brought up that topic. But I don't know, my thought is I have a really, the way that I am spiritually is I have a very hard time believing something like the afterlife.
Yeah.
I do just my gut keeps telling me, as hard as this is for someone like my mom to like hear, is like I just think it's just like going to sleep. Like it's just that's the last thing you're gonna feel and think about, and it's just darkness.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe in afterlife or reincarnation or anything like that. So I think my answer is a little bit boring. But I also mentioned in Steve's topic that I do believe in ghosts and stuff. So maybe your conscious is not around, but like your spirit could roam a little bit or something. Like I actually can see that happening, but I don't. I feel like there's an end there too. Like, or I don't know. I just don't.
But is
believe
there a
there's
spirit,
like
or is there something like that? If
I
there's
feel
like,
I feel like there is. There's energy, right? It might not. Spirit might not be the word, but
okay.
I feel like there's something. But I just don't believe that there's like a heaven with like an endless amount of cupcakes to eat and like the pool full of Reese's Pieces.
Right. So my question then is to you is that do you think that a lot of people, if you met anybody that has the belief in the afterlife, do you feel like sometimes they're kind of, expecting more out of that than they are here in this life? Do you think it kind of hinders them from enjoying some, or no?
Yes, absolutely. But I think when you were describing that, you might have been thinking about the nice church-going mom or grandma or like father. But I also, when I heard that, I also immediately thought about like terrorist organizations. Like,
Yeah.
they're willing to give up absolutely everything in their life because they know they're going to be greeted with virgins or they're going to have like an amazing afterlife. So
Yep.
they don't value this life, which allows them to, or they value it, but not to the extent like they don't
Right.
believe it's the end all be all. So that allows them to have the motivation and like the courage to go. Not even courage. That's really, I shouldn't even associate terrorism with that, but just like, I don't know, I guess stupidity to go and kill someone.
Right. Yeah. So, like that, for example, that's a perfect example about, people not taking this life. I mean, taking it for granted, I guess you'd say, not living it, not being a part of it, and then that belief in the afterlife, it making them do such an extreme move as to just end this one quicker to go on to this next afterlife. Which, I mean, I don't know. A lot of different people out there have different beliefs on what fact is or proof is. But there hasn't been really any proof of any type of afterlife. There's been the stories and he says, she says about, oh, I died and I came back and this was all there and this was real, and I was in the clouds and it was amazing.
How do you explain that?
But that's what I'm saying. There's like different
Right.
people have different, understandings of what proof is and what fact is. And for me, in my understanding of that, there is no fact as of right now that there's an afterlife. So to go and do something as so extreme as to blow yourself up, expecting that you're going to have virgins at the end of it, and nothing against anybody's religions and stuff out there, but like, you don't know that's the fucking case when you do it. Is it just going to bed, like Clay said? Is it night and then it's done?
Yeah.
What about you?
How do you?
Ian, what
Yeah,
about you?
no,
though?
I was actually, I agree with Clay there. Growing up, going to church and everything like that, you have this thoughts of what it is after, you pass away. But I actually had a pretty interesting upbringing. My grandma was an astrologist, and
Yeah.
she had like her own way of what she thought happened afterwards, and she thought of it as like different levels of learning. Like, this is one level, then there's another place, another universe that you go to. And I mean, when you're getting told this at 8 years old, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, but that's also like that can influence you though later on in life, whether you know it or not. Because if you were never exposed to something like that and you're only told about a certain other belief, then you might not have ever questioned it. You know what I mean? But because you're now exposed to kind of two separate beliefs, it's like now you've got your world's a little bit more open than you thought it was.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, even like going to church and sitting there hearing all one side and then someone else's perspectives. And I mean, honestly, I my thoughts are a lot like Clay's, where, you pass away and that's it. Now, I kind of feel like there's some kind of, like he said, maybe not per se a spirit, but some kind of energy. But I just don't see that place up, that you go to up in the sky and all that other stuff. So far, I haven't really felt like that's there. But you know what? I kind of hope I'm wrong sometimes. That's how I kind of feel. I'm like, you know what? It would be nice if that's actually what happens,
Yeah.
So, but no one knows. Honestly,
Yeah.
just no one knows. And you won't find out until that day.
Yeah, I got
So,
you. I got you.
And you hear about a lot of those stories, Rocco, that like, oh,
Yep.
I died and I came back and this and that. It could have been just your conscious dream while being knocked out. Who knows what that could have been? And on top of that, I believe there was a story about a little kid a long time ago that sat there and said, hey, he remembers being his birth and everything and what happened before that, and he was and come to find out it was a big ruse. His dad like told him to tell this story, and he finally came out later on, saying, oh yeah, that was pretty much all made up and was a lie, So it's
that's the
hard
thing too, is it's like it's always hard because you're taking somebody's subjective experience and then try to make a fact out of it that you have no proof there. You don't know if that person's making up a story or they're not with that.
Right. And people would argue, and I was going to play devil's advocate there for a minute, because I know that people who believe in the afterlife and the heaven and hell experience, that they've heard people say, oh no, I saw the white light, I had this out of body experience. They say that they were describing things that only the doctor who was operating on the patient would know at the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's like this, like, well, how the hell do they know that kind of stuff? So what do you say to that? Like, how do you explain things like that? What does that mean?
So, I don't know what that means and how do you explain those kind of different things. I mean, it also doesn't say that there is, an afterlife. That's not a fact of the idea of an afterlife. It's not the fact of an idea of like eh, solidifying any type of spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, to be honest, either. Like, I don't know. I think that's a tough question because that goes back into beliefs of like every individual themselves, and maybe we all have completely different answers of what we would find for the reasoning there happening. Like we're all saying about energy. My belief is kind of the same concept. It's like kind of this energy concept where you can't create it and you can't destroy it either, kind of deal, right? So it's always existing. There's no really end to it, no beginning to it. That it's like, okay, so maybe we are a part of this thing, where we think that we're, at the end of the day, maybe it's just a big energy recycling system. Maybe it is lights out, die, game over, which to my point, one thing I was going to say is I have a belief kind of in reincarnation. I can see that in myself, that I have that there, but I'm a skeptic still a lot. Like I have that belief. I can kind of feel it in there. And I think it's more just kind of like a hoping than in anything else. But, I also know that there is no fact to that belief whatsoever. There's nothing there that says, oh, yeah, game over. Argue with this person till the end of days because that's a fact. It's like, no, I know it's not. It's just a belief at the end of the day. So I sit there and I do a lot of different kinds of meditations and things on death. And it might sound morbid, but I do it because I'm thinking about like living life right now. Like if I was to die and it's lights out, it's game over. There's nothing else at the end. No reincarnation, no clouds, no fun people to enjoy. This is it. Then it makes me feel like, well, then today is going to be an amazing day, not just a mediocre day that I just get through really the emotions.
Cool. Yeah.
Because that's like just doing this whole like complacency through life, thinking that there's eternity left for you later, which means who gives a shit really about 100 years of your life when you got so much more waiting, down the road. And even at a subconscious level, we make decisions based off of that, whether we know it or not. Because if I'm dying and it's lights out kind of deal, and say that death's gonna happen tomorrow, I feel like I'm gonna do so many different. I would do so many different things, expecting that, like I'm not gonna be able to do these things ever again. I kind of want to experience all this stuff in this life then.
Yeah.
And I think that was a little tangent, but going on the topic about the surgery situations, I don't know. See, that's where this is a belief again. It's a belief, but maybe consciousness, which we all feel is like individualized, maybe it's really not individualized and it's really just one big thing. So yes, they're operating on your body, but your body's not really you. You are the consciousness at the end of the day, where maybe you are able to observe any and everything that's existing at all times. And that's the only reason why you're kind of experiencing that at that time. But that leads into my belief of the whole like, well, then I guess there's kind of like a life after this, Maybe you just became that one consciousness and not like this individualized Rocco spirit existing and floating around doing my thing. Maybe it's just back into the energy pool that is one thing and that's it. It's like a recycling system,
Yeah, and I feel like that Rocco energy would be a creepy energy that like kind of lingered in the corner and like, dude.
Man, it only shows up when I'm naked and after the shower. It's so strange. Why is it cold on my neck?
Why is that a video camera? He doesn't.
Yeah, who turned this on?
Like he's in. Yeah, it's crazy.
What about you, Steve? Man, do you have any type of beliefs in some type of afterlife? And do you?
I mean, my beliefs when I was younger was just what I was told as far as like God, and Jesus and everything like that. Like, but the thing was, it was mainly stories that they were talking about. When you got it, and you're just like, it was something you had to do on a Sunday, and everything you had to go. But my beliefs have changed lately. I guess mainly they're more kind of like along the lines of your beliefs, Rocco. Just as far as like energy and everything like that, and that it's just constant. And there is probably a higher power out there, but it's like more like a source like of energy and everything. Right. I don't believe that there's somebody up there watching everything that you're doing and just that just deciding your fate or letting you do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? I just don't believe that's going on. I think that there's a lot of different versions of the Bible out there, and there's everyone has their own beliefs, and you got to respect that. and everything.
So what do you think about like the afterlife? If you believe about like some single source kind of thing, like what does that mean?
I mean, yeah, I think you end up doing something after you die. I mean, yeah, it's probably a constant energy. You keep going and everything like that, obviously, because I mean, I just don't believe that there's like like what Clay was saying, there's a giant party afterwards or something like that. You know what I mean?
There's piss pool.
So we've all kind of said that like the energy concept, the like kind of recycling sort of thing. What does that mean for us though? Like let's get a little deeper. Like what does that entail? You know,
For me, that's where
it might be a soul. I mean, other people would probably think of it as a soul. You know what I mean?
So what is that? I mean, let's still say like go deeper. What is that?
To me, it's really
it's like
just
the
those
gushy
instances.
stuff inside. Go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
It's those instances where you have like I don't know, those ghost experiences, those spiritual experiences, those times where you see a dog look up in the corner and like just bark or something.
So that's it. We're just kind of a floaty, transparent energy system, just
honestly
wandering around.
Yeah, I like to think of it, and this doesn't mean I believe it, but I like to think of it as that only happens when someone is left with things that they still need to do, right? Like people, do you think people would try to have things left to do in life if they were like, man, shit, it means kind of like game over, or I've got some haunting to do? Yeah, there's
a
reason.
Kind of exist.
I don't think that is. I don't think that is a pleasurable experience. There's a reason why our culture and folklore and stories and have passed down about these like spirits who can't find rest. And it sounds haunting, and it sounds tiring, and it sounds uncomfortable. I think there is a moment where these spirits want to say goodbye to their loved ones, and then they're free to like kind of like finally rest. And then there's this instance where they can't rest because they feel like they have something left to do, and they're restless, right? So, and I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to kind of go to sleep and just like and be good. I don't know. I really don't believe the energy transfers. Like we're talking about this spiritual, this energy, this like vibe. Like I think we're starting to go into like existentialism. But like I don't know that the energy can float and it can feel a little bit, but I don't think it has necessarily a conscious thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like, and I'm getting really like
yeah.
Like just like maybe.
Well, we're talking
whatever,
about afterlife, so it's gonna go into all that.
Yeah, and
Right.
I don't think it goes into a tree or a dog or you become like a cockroach or anything like that. Like I like and there's the old adage, not the old adage. There's like what Edison said, right? Like energy cannot be created nor destroyed; it can only be transferred. But that doesn't mean it's going to be transferred in parallel. It doesn't mean that one energy goes into the next, right? Like it's weird. Like that's a whole nother layer. Like we're birthing babies faster, I believe, than people are dying. So it's not like there is like if we're gonna throw energies and spirits into the same pool as Edison's thought of energy not being created nor destroyed, I think it gets broken, right? Because the babies that are like the more babies that are having are obviously coming from something. So it's not like. So there's if we're believing there's energy, there is the creation of new energy and the destruction of the energy. There is no transfer.
How about this, Clay? How about you make up your own and say, after you die, your energy gets transferred to a parallel universe and you become Batman for that life.
Fucking sign me up. What religion? I am a follower of the Landis.
Sign me up. Dude, man, when I die, like I don't shit what I do in this life, but when I die, I'm being Batman in the next life. Check that out.
And also with you. And I'll be the Batman.
So like that kind of your spirit kind of story situation with is like you got to learn a lesson to be able to move on to that like deep sleep kind of deal.
I don't know about a lesson, but just
or just learn or.
I don't even have to learn anything. Just feel like you've left. Like if you died today, would you feel like you'd have unfinished business?
I think everybody would feel that way at death. They probably have some type of unfinished business at some point because I think death is usually unexpected, like even when it's expected, there's still people that would still say, I have stuff, that I would have loved to have gone and still did.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I forgot the diva of that
But then,
show.
then there would be. I mean, I feel like then at that point there would be hauntings fucking everywhere. Like, you know
Well,
what
I mean,
Like,
maybe, but like, but there's haunting, and then maybe there's that guardian angel vibe. Like, it doesn't have to be haunting, but like, maybe you really want to see, like, you're not ready to rest, and your spirit, your energy, just is so tied to your family. You want to see them succeed, and so maybe that's where like Karina and like people. Oh man, I feel like someone was just watching over me when I made that decision or when I had that experience. And it's like maybe that's your energy because you left this world way too early, and you can't rest until you see your family like get to a point where you're happy, and then you can finally go on. Doesn't mean you have to haunt them, and it doesn't mean. Sorry, we have a freeze there.
Yep. There we go. And we're back.
But yeah, so just saying, like, I mean, I could see a situation where it's a good haunting. It's a watching over type of. Spirit.
I gotcha. Watching over type of spirit.
and kind of just go
Creepy.
a little bit further on Clay's point there. So think of this: like sometimes the universe and everything is just so massive that we're technically almost just like a bacteria on Earth. So
We are, yeah.
We just keep spreading and growing on it and kind
You're a
of taking
bacteria,
over
bro.
Earth. So sometimes I think that way, and I'm like, okay, well,
Can I get a shirt with the quote, "We're just bacteria on Earth," and like Professor Ian, like on the back? I just want someone to be like, "Oh, cool," but,
Like,
or like
in his Whole Foods bag.
yeah, yeah.
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Just like-
in his bag.
it
love
starts
it.
to blow your mind when you realize how big the universe is, and and then I just start to think, well, why would we be so special to go to somewhere, nothing else, no other creation, I don't know. So that's just my train of thought sometimes too.
Well, so I don't know. I mean, this is crazy out there and stuff. But the universe is so massive, and that babies, coming in, high crazy numbers here on the planet Earth can mean that there's frickin' energy transfer possibly from somewhere
point.
way the hell out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about super, super massive beyond any of our comprehensions. You know what I mean? Like, who knows with that? It could be a transfer system. It could be like I don't know. Like, it could be you die and you end up. I was playing off of the astrology of your grandmother, Ian, which is the idea of like, okay, death leads to lessons, almost like it's like the life is a big schoolroom and you have to learn from it. There's beliefs out there which are more Buddhism, which is about karma based, like a karma based belief, which is like, okay, it's all about learning the things that you keep making mistakes on and changing those things in life and to go into a different direction, which is essentially releasing karma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what if it is something like that? What if it is that what if there is actually an afterlife, and it's not an afterlife like, you're floating around in the clouds, but you die and then you go right into another life, whatever that be. I don't know.
With the
what
lessons learned.
No, without the lessons learned, with the lessons learned that you learned in that life.
Yeah.
And any lessons you didn't learn, you bring back into the next one, and you start this whole thing over to relearn that lesson until you've pretty much achieved perfection, essentially.
Yeah, and maybe that's and that's how we get people like the Edisons and Edison was actually a dick, but maybe that's how we get the people like Einstein's.
Did
I say
those
Edison?
ones that are just those
energy
one
can't
in
be
a,
transferred.
the one
That's
in the,
Einstein. I apologize.
the one in the trillions kind of
Well,
deal.
Einstein's
You know
a
what I
dick?
mean? Like,
Yeah, Einstein said energy can't be transferred nor destroyed. Not Edison. I'm
was
sorry.
Einstein was-
I must sound
So-
like an asshole right there.
So
People were
now-
like, click, I'm out.
to go off of Rocco's thing here, what would you guys give your grade for your learning for this life?
I'd say
Great.
I'm saying I'm probably there's lessons that I feel like I've learned, and I see there's lessons that I continually keep doing. I'm observing, I'm aware of, but it's like they just seem to be a part of me, as much as like I'm trying to break them away. Like yeah. Well, what grade? I would say I probably got a C right now. I'm just doing average.
Yeah,
Devo.
same here.
I'm a borderline DC.
I'm a
So
borderline.
you're kind of passing, but you're just right on the border.
Right.
What about you? What about you, Ian? You can go just go. go
Yeah.
A plus all day. I'm gonna
A plus all day.
I think I'm like a C plus ish.
C pluses. Yeah.
How about you, Clay?
He said.
I'm a
He said
C
it's
minus or a
C.
C.
I would say
Borderline
I'm C.
D.
I have very lofty expectations of myself.
That's what I do too.
If
and
I'm
I
not
think,
balling,
Yeah,
and,
it's-
like saving the world. Like I ain't doing.
Think
good.
you're not doing it right, you know?
If
Like,
you were Batman,
Like if
What
I'm
would
like
you give-
if I'm like Bill Gates, he's acing, right?
he's acing.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump, I'll give him a B because he's wealthy, but he's a dick. So he's still got that like last piece to figure
B
it out.
minus,
Right? Like
B
he's
minus.
like it's like.
But at the
it's
end of
like-
the day, it's all their individual lessons though. So like me, I would give him not a B, you know, I'd give him like a D because I see my lessons as like a worldview lessons, and I feel like he's completely off path.
yeah,
you
but
know?
like think about okay, so he's got the like it's like Bill Gates without the moral structure, right? So he's got all those lessons, and once he gets that piece in, I feel like he's the A. So it's like there was somebody before Bill Gates and Donald Trump that was Donald Trump, and he sucked. This guy sucked. He died. His energy got transferred. We got Bill Gates. Which
I
is
get what you're
awesome,
saying.
right?
You're
You know what I
saying
mean?
as in,
That's
like
the
yeah,
next step.
like the expansion of like
Yeah.
humanity. Like
Yeah, yeah.
these guys led to, you know, crazy futures.
And before
What would you
Donald
give
Trump,
Tom
But
Brady?
Trump, like, but
would
Trump,
you give Tom Brady?
what would I give Tom Brady? I mean, as much
he'd
as I
be like
hate
a
him,
B, bro. He would be like a B.
plus. I give him a B plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just being reincarnated into it from Q. He was from the beginning days of football. He was probably the QB.
That's
back
pretty
then.
good considering how much Clay hates Tom Brady.
I
Yeah.
hate him, but he's got his life together. He just whines a lot
Yeah.
and he cries a lot. I guess. I don't
So
know.
I mean, I guess it's like it's you know it looking at it though I really truly think, and this is my opinion, that your perspective on your afterlife really is a subtle deciding factor in how you make decisions in life and what you decide to do, you know, with your daily, you know, with your day just in general. Like,
Oh, of
do you,
course.
you live it to the fullest? Do you just kind of go through the motions, you know?
I wanted to share. I think I've mentioned this before, but for those who have not heard before, or just joining us, I really connect with the religion of called Possibilian.
Possibilian.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard of this or seen
No.
this, there's a great TED Talk on Possibilians. You should check it out.
Okay.
And it really matches my like always like open-mindedness and like acceptance. Like basically it's they will believe in everything until it is proven false. So someone can come up and be like, dude, I believe in aliens from Hamburger Planet. They're like, "Pfft, awesome. So do we. That's cool. Until it's proven wrong. You know what I
Is
mean?
that
They're like,
extra
that could
cheese?
happen. It's totally possible. And so
Yeah,
they're
so cool.
really, really like open and accepting of all religion types. You know, they're not shutting one thing out or being too like until it's proven wrong. They'll like
And
throw
that's
it
the
up.
kind of way that I feel. You know, I've got certain things that I lean towards a little bit more than others because there's a bunch of different beliefs out there on it. But at the same time, there's no proof on denying any of them either. So I mean, they are all possibilities as of right now until they're proven
Yeah.
wrong. It's like you know
Right.
the spaghetti monster in space. They're, I don't
Yeah.
Watch out for it.
how who knows, man.
Go for it.
I think I don't know. Like there's any possibility there's something on the other side of the universe is like
Yeah.
prone to be some crazy monster that looks like spaghetti and
Yeah.
eat shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
We're just bacteria.
yeah, exactly. We're just bacteria. We're gonna make a shirt made like
Hey,
that,
did you
dude.
guys know that this episode was brought to you by Whole Foods?
What? There
Yeah,
is.
it was brought to you by Whole Foods.
Is it
They
100%
have
the
they have
mustached Whole Foods.
They have paper bags for you, not plastic bags, and you can get a lot of food. Yeah, sure, it's a little bit expensive, but wouldn't you want to pay a higher price to get better foods, knowing that it's organic and high quality?
There
Look,
it
no
is.
GMOs. You can get a lot of different stuff. It's all paper bags. It's great for the environment. They keep it green. Okay, go to Whole Foods.
Steven's looking at you like, holy shit, he really has a promo for Whole
Yeah,
Foods.
this is great, man. I was like, damn, I want to go to Whole Foods. and it becomes a mask for your kids afterwards.
Yeah,
There
you
you
can
go.
make a little mask for it. Halloween's coming up. It's
Oh.
really great.
If
Oh
you're
wait,
poor,
Halloween's not
do
coming
it.
up. It's past Halloween right now.
Oh yeah, it's past Halloween. What time this is coming? Look, if you're moving, they got boxes. Just go to them. It's free. You can be like, hey, can I have some of your cardboard boxes? They got plenty of them. Okay.
Yeah,
Check
Clay,
it
that was
out.
pretty good, man. Did you have that written down somewhere?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Off the cuff. I've won
Yeah.
multiple awards for improvisational
Multiple
speaking.
awards.
Yeah, I have. We can go
Have
on
you
that a
really?
little bit later.
Oh
All
gosh.
right, how about this
awesome.
one? Brought to you by this.
Starbucks. I'm not going to do this right now because we got to keep going. So,
Oh, okay.
our next topic, though,
you
Steve.
can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Why don't you enlighten us? Mister, I have multiple siblings and I think everybody else is a single child.
Yeah.
Why don't you
you're a
enlighten us
single
on your
child,
topic
right,
today?
Clay? What is that supposed to mean?
You want to go to my topic then?
What's your intent, bro? You trying to say something like I'm fucking spoiled kid, piece of shit, piece of shit? I'm not selfish.
I know, like you just immediately went to that. I was like,
Well,
what?
that was no. I would have totally went with it too, Steve.
Yeah, the
Really?
way, that's
Like,
the way you
how
said
is
it.
that?
Yeah,
How's
the way
that
that you
possible?
delivered that message was like.
I like you said, you're an only child, right? That's it. Like, how does that mean anything? That's
No,
like,
you could be
that's
like,
in an
hey,
argument with your
hey,
girlfriend
you could
and
be
just being
like,
like,
hey, Clay, are you?
hey, did you take
are
trash?
you an
Yeah,
only
of course I
child,
took
by the
trash.
way? Do you
Don't
have
you
any
call me a dirty.
siblings?
Like earlier, Steve-O was asking me if I was an only child, and the way the conversation was played out in context,
It was like this. It was
sounded
like this.
like.
Hold on,
it was
let's
like-
reenact
no, it was
this.
like-
Okay,
Ready?
let's reenact it.
Ready?
Okay, I'll start it.
Hey,
Go,
Clay,
go, go.
you're an only
Okay,
child,
so I
right?
go.
No, I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how you said it.
You're
Yeah.
You're only child, right?
Right?
you're-
Like, right is the
Yeah.
part that
Like,
like.
right? Question mark.
Oh, you could like.
Not like you're an only child,
you're an
man.
only child, or do you have any
You're like-
siblings? Or is it like the right
Yeah.
part makes it like
It was like
because
yeah,
you're dick?
it was like
you're-
because you're an
kinda
only
like-
child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was like
You
because,
definitely
the
want
way
to
you
right?
act.
act like this.
Right, Ian? Because like, cuz means
But-
there's stuff I've done to justify the fact that I'm an only child.
No.
And the only thing
No,
that
you
people
guys are
justify as being
throwing
an only
this out.
child is like spoiled.
You know what it is, bro.
Like
you know,
right,
you
yeah.
know what it is, bro.
You said cuz. You're like cuz you're an only child, right?
It was
Like,
just
See,
he's been sitting
the
there.
play has
You're
to
an
be
only
the
child,
center
right?
of attention and
Right, right, right.
everything. So.
Yo, Clay, it's
Yeah.
this, bro. He's been so salty as of late because he heard your stories about getting those toys as a kid. He was like, "Fuck,
Right,
bro."
Anyway,
He's been holding it on for the past few weeks, a few episodes back.
Just
I've just
bottling it
never
up.
heard you talk about your sibling before.
So okay, hey, well we'll go into my topic then. Okay.
your topic. I
We're
was
pretty
gonna
much
go
on
to
that.
Steve's. All right, we'll go to your. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We should go to your topic.
So. Sorry.
See, center of attention.
I,
Center of attention.
I know that. I know you're not
Oh,
used
what?
to
Yeah, go ahead. Do your
other
your-
people, around and stuff. So, but the whole topic came up because I told them what I was wanting to talk about today, which is sibling rivalry. Since only 3 of us have siblings, we can go into some stories, but
Smack easy the camera.
so do you have sibling rivalry? Like even at an older age.
He doesn't have any siblings. Don't even.
I
say
want to go
anything.
first.
Okay, go to you, Clay.
I want to go
Can't.
first.
You're an only child, bro. You got to go last.
Despite the rumors you've been reading about in the tabloids
That's
and
the-
on BuzzFeed, I have a younger sister. And when I was growing up, my younger sister, the baby of the family, was the most spoiled, loved, and favored child.
Most toyed
when
up.
growing up.
Not me.
I would literally do the exact same thing that she had done 5 seconds earlier and get yelled at and screamed at. Not only was this coming from my dad, and I would have to get grounded, my sister would constantly get away with murder. She would do something and then just be like, "Oh, but Dad," and he'd be like, "Oh, Taryn, what did you do? Is that what you did?" Like complete
Oh,
tonal
that was so
change.
cute. That was
Yeah. So and, like, it's ridiculous. And then this also like grew to like my my extended family of just like treating her like a princess and having just these like expectations of me being like this like troublemaker of a boy, of a child. So
Because
Again,
you
this-
are as a man.
Yeah.
You're a troublemaker, bro.
and maybe Steve that caused me to try to get center of attention because I always lost it to my sister. But despite
I never
the
said any of
rumors,
this.
yeah, well, that's what came out of your mouth. That's what came out of your mouth.
That's what you said,
That's what
bro.
you said. I heard you. You said it just like
I
that.
heard-
Just in
him
your head,
too.
like, oh,
Yeah, I
these
seen
years.
it.
No, man, you said it.
Yeah.
You're like center
So-
of attention, motherfucker.
But we did. So with
In my
that
eyes.
said, we did have moments of like we played pretty nice together. Like we separately, like she played Barbies, I played my action figures. But there was a point where we got a little bit older towards end of, like when I was in middle school and when she started getting in middle school and I was in high school. There was a lot of tension there for whatever reason where we would constantly like. We would argue. There was things that like she would annoy me because I was just annoyed by everything. I was a teenager and she started to get annoyed by everything, and so there was definitely moments of like screaming and yelling and like
Yeah.
slamming of doors and like
Did it ever get like crazy hostile? Did you guys ever just get into a brawl and just go at it?
yeah. I mean, once or twice, my mom was like, she did a really good thing and just like she's like, you never like hit your sister, like you just never do that. You always stick up for her. You always protect her. She's your younger sister, like yada yada. And so that was always kind of like just generating in the back of my mind. So despite the amount of times or how heated it would get, like there's once or twice where I would like push her down or I'd like throw her on like the ground or something like that, like because like we're just like in our
I'm gonna
faces and
get
she
you!
yeah, or like she threw something at me, like
Don't you
What
touch
if your
my
parents
Legos!
yeah, you know.
about this
And,
now? What have your parents heard about this now? You talking about this?
Oh, they know.
They were there.
They know? Oh.
There's
My
like, they were
family,
getting yelled
we're
at.
from the East Coast, dude. Like we're very blunt and very honest and very
Yeah.
overly open about our stuff. So
Yeah.
they know all of this stuff.
Only childs usually are so.
Yeah. Did I tell the story too? I guess I mean I could have started this with like there was when I was like 3 years old I was playing with my truck, and my sister was just like enamored with me. She's always been like really loving of me and wanted to be a part of my life, but I was annoyed and I was like, you know, back the hell up. I'm playing with my trucks. So she's like 2 years old, just kind of like backing up. I'm like, no, I need more space. And at this time I had so much space. I didn't need more space, but I wanted it. And I was like, no, back up. So I'm playing. She backs up all the way into the stairwell. And fell down all the way down.
God.
So, which I
you
felt
pushed her
terrible.
down the stairs.
Yeah,
Back it up.
but she
Back
got
up
me
the
back.
right.
She got me back. Remember when I told about the Batman costume? I had her be Catwoman. We were playing Batman and Catwoman, and I was like, okay, kick me in the chest, because we're fighting on the stairwell, and she kicks me right in the mouth, and my tooth just goes flying out. And she was like, "Oh, I am so sorry." I was like, "No, that was the coolest freaking thing ever." You know what I mean? Like, that was like
That's cool,
a real
that's
brawl.
cool.
So I mean, we had some fun.
So what's your relationship now? I mean, you guys said you had a little bit of tension there.
A
right,
tiny
as kids?
bit in a span of a lot of love and
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of playfulness. Our relationship now is not as close as it should be. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the complete opposite side of the country, so time is difficult. As you guys
Yeah.
know, like I barely can catch you playing games.
Yeah.
And we're just busy, and you know,
In life. Yeah. I gotcha.
we try to stay in touch, and you know, we do our best, but you know, we're not as close as probably we should be.
I got
Right.
you.
No, I get that.
All right, that was long-winded.
Well,
Sorry.
well, I got a brother and I got a sister. I love them all to death, and we're talking about rivalries here. My brother is my best friend, and I've grown up with him my entire life. And sure, there's been rivalries and there's been different aspects, but for the most part, like you were saying, Clay, there was a lot more love than anything else out there. But since we're talking about rivalries, you know, me and my brother were very not competitive, I guess you'd say, like with one another, but we were competitive people. And we both played sports. So when it came to things like football or whatnot, we were always outside when we got into football season. We were practicing drills outside, just doing stuff outside of practice itself, where we'd be doing hitting drills. So that led to some rivalry, I guess you'd say, there, because it was
Yeah.
like I'm the bigger brother. He's 3 years younger. Now, granted, I'll throw this out there, Jake, you got it. But Jake was better at football than I was. You know, he had more heart,
nice of you
more
to admit.
drive. You know, he had more heart,
More
more
knowledge.
drive towards the sport and knowledge. To be
Yeah.
honest, you know,
Do you think he was
wanted it.
compensating for the fact that you were like older?
Maybe, or it's just he had a love for it, to be honest. And he
Yeah.
still has that
he
love
has
for
love,
it. You
yeah.
know, I didn't have the love for it. I actually didn't have love for any of the sports that I played pretty well, to be honest. I just didn't have any love or passion for them until college when I got to lacrosse. I was like, whoa, this is something totally different.
Is
and
he
I
a Steelers
felt
fan like you?
he is a Steelers fan, but I'd say that we're Steelers fans, but it's not like we're diehard like our stepfather is. I mean, we're not rooting for any other teams, really. He's probably rooting for his fantasy football team more than anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he loves the sport in general, and,
He
and a
loves
lot
the
of love is like
sport,
playing
dude.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so,
loves
like,
it.
we got
He
a
loves it to the
rivalries.
point where I was gonna say he loves it to the point where he popped his what did he pop? I forgot
His
like,
knee?
Achilles. He popped
Oh yeah, his Achilles
Oh.
playing flag and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it had,
he
like,
got
blood
out
clot.
of football and all these different things, and wanted to get back into doing some more football outside of after he got out of school and whatnot. So he did some flag and ended up destroying his
Yeah.
Achilles.
I was gonna say, yeah, to the point where he's gonna start playing again. I just talked to him the other day, and he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to start playing again." I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah.
the doctor just told you. You said you can't do that, but
Yeah.
he's gonna do it
So
anyway."
we had some fun rivalries outside, just
Yeah.
smashing each other back and forth. You know, getting there, 5 yards apart and just going at each other. But I'll tell you, one of the best rivalries we had is that our father had us into fighting a lot. So we were doing boxing, and this little asshole, like I love him, he's my best friend, but dude,
Oh.
this kid is he's a little shit when it comes to fighting. So I'm taller, I have longer arms, I have better range than he does. He's a shorter, kind of like bulldoggy guy. So we get into the fighting, and our fighting styles are different. So we get into fighting and boxing one another. And I'm just, 1-2 and him, 1-2-3 right in his face because I had the range. And He's getting pissed off, dude. This kid's getting angry because I'm just tagging him right in the face. Every time he can't get he can't land any punches because every time he comes in, I just take a step back, and I've got like I said, I just got the range. He gets so mad that this kid comes. I'm like, hold on a second, dude. Let me fix my stuff. And I go to fix my headgear, and this kid comes running up with an uppercut right to the face, bro, as hard as he could. Right after this uppercut, he turned around and starts bolting, man. This is like. This is one of those times where that rivalry got serious, and I'm just chasing him, just trying to, as hard as I can, trying to see if I can catch him to just knock his ass out, man, because that kid was a little shit when it came to our, when we would fight, We would fight often one another, so it was just like, and it's brotherly love fighting, there were some times when it got a little serious, there was some blood and stuff every once in a while, but it wasn't ever, you didn't leave that being like, fucking hate you, done with this, it was just kind of like, all right, we got it out. And now
really, because I know brothers who they leave like that. They're like, "You motherfucker, I'm never talking to you again."
We brawled, and it was like this is a weird analogy, but like a duck on the pond when they fight another duck, they get done with that fight, and then after they shake all their feathers out, it's like they release all that energy and get rid of it. It's like that fight was our shake. You know what I mean? Like we got all the tension build up, bah, 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 release, done. It was like.
So you're the heartthrob. Did he ever get mad at you for stealing any of his girls' prospects?
Hell no.
No? Okay, it wasn't like that? You guys didn't?
No, man, I would never do any of those things.
I always worried about having a brother at that, because I always wanted a brother, but I would always worry that, he would be a better looking brother, or, be better with, women would like him better, and then I would, I'd bring home a girlfriend, and then, she would like him more. I'm like, God damn, my fucking brother doing this again to me.
No, he was, we never had that one, never had any issues like that. I've always, we both been in relationships, so it was kind of like that was never there. There was never even an opportunity for that to even kind of exist. I don't know if it could have existed. My brother's a good-looking guy. I don't know if it could have ever existed.
But he's not the heartthrob.
I know
let's
that
be honest,
he's not the heartthrob, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, he doesn't have the jealousy side too, and he knows who I am in and out, and he knows that there wouldn't have been anything there. If he was ever have seen something like that, he would have probably been like, "This bitch is gone." That's not right. But anyways, when it comes to rivalries, it always landed when it came into physical sports, whether it was the football or it was the boxing, fighting kind of things we went through as kids, which was a lot of fun still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I grew up in kind of an interesting situation. I have two sisters and a brother, and my older brother and sister, they're my half. We share the same mother, all four of us, but. My little sister and I have the same father, and my older brother and sister have the same father. And so growing up, my sister...
The older sister and brother have the same father, and you and your younger sister have the same father.
Right.
Did I get that right? Okay.
Yeah. So we all grew up in the house together, like a 3-bedroom house. There were 6 of us, for a while. And there was always some rivalry. There's actually rivalry nowadays, too, which is kind of funny. My older brother, he is 8 years older than me. So growing up, there was some rivalry. And quite honestly, I got my ass kicked all the time. When you're 7 years old and your brother's 15, you're like, well, this isn't fair. So you learn how to, take him out other ways.
I remember the fights, man. I remember them, man.
Oh, yeah. There was one time he was talking crap to me, and I was on our top bunk. So I jumped off the top bunk and did a karate kick, landed it right in his side, knocked the wind out of him. I took off after that.
Nice.
Yeah. So you gotta catch him by surprise.
Yeah, dude, you got guerrilla warfare, man. Hit the nuts, get out.
Or that's the secret uppercut and then the take off. This is like the little brother move, man, right here.
Yeah.
It's
hey, man, you gotta
go for the cheap shot, take off as fast as you can.
There's no rules in fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, now I had all these different worlds where I was the older brother, but also I was the younger brother. So I had
you were the middle child, right?
Well, yeah, my brother and I were middle children, but technically I always say I am the middle child because it's my little sister had all kinds of attention, and she, just like you, Clay, would get away with murder. And one time she actually slapped herself in the leg. and went running to, because we were in an argument, and she
That's
goes,
some Mark Wahlberg shit from that movie.
Dude.
yeah,
That's
Yes.
crazy.
we were arguing.
I remember
at my
Ian
aunt's
getting in
house.
trouble for this too.
Yeah, we were arguing at my aunt's house, and my aunt heard the conversation, and my sister goes, well, I'm going to slap myself and tell them that you did it. And she went, wham, like hit herself really hard and went running and crying. Thank God my aunt heard that whole conversation, because
Yeah.
I was getting in huge trouble for that.
What
Yeah.
does your sister do now? Is she okay?
Oh,
Does she
yeah,
pull that
she's
shit all
fine.
the
I
time
mean,
to
actually,
people?
I'm
Like,
going to probably go hang out with her today. I mean, we have a good relationship.
but like, what? I could just see her now, like at work, and be like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell them." That
Are you talking about Candace?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
But, I mean, she's not like that now. I mean,
No.
we're kids.
She's not. No, yeah.
Yeah.
To your
But, I
knowledge.
mean, you know,
She's a genius. She's a genius, by the way.
Oh yeah, she sounds smart. she sounds pretty good.
So, but what's funny now is that, like, as adults, all four of us are adults, and we still, like, pretty much our mom is, like, the center of the whole thing. And we all try to do nice things to her, and we try to get this thing called PC, which we call Perfect Child. So they always joke with me saying I was a PC, because I was, like, honestly, I went and hung out with Rocco all the time. I didn't, like, you know, cause trouble or
We
anything
didn't cause any trouble, dude.
that we got caught for. But
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
Gold carts riding around. And,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so nowadays, like, you know, my brother sent my mom like this like really nice plant from Texas, because he lives in Texas, and he just every morning sends us like a little, hey, a picture of that plant and like a little nice note below it. And my brother, okay, he's probably he's my best friend too, but he's a big dick, and I know he's sitting there just he's just trying to antagonize and like sound really nice and everything. I'm like, you little piece of shit every time. So
He's awesome, but he really is a big dick.
so I sat there and I go, okay, well, I'm gonna go and help my mother fix her fence. So the next weekend I went out there and I helped her repair her fence, and I took a picture of that, and I was like, hey bitch, this is what I did for her, you know. So we still have that rivalry, you know.
It's funny that your mom's like benefiting from this greatly
Yeah,
between the
exactly.
rivalry. Like,
Well, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good way to have a rivalry, then. You know what I mean? Like have all the you know siblings and stuff fight over the love for the mom,
Yeah, so
giving her love.
and
That's
she
awesome.
likes it because she gets that attention that she wants
Yeah.
from her kids.
Yeah,
you
I gotcha.
know? And you know, so that's kind of how we are. But growing up, I mean, there was always tension, fighting. But you know what my thing was? Is I had a little sister as well, and my sister was 2 years younger than me, and she would sit there and on purpose try to annoy me.
Yeah.
Like she went up to my ear and go. She would go like this. She would go like literally that far from my ear, and I would be sitting there playing EverQuest, and I'm like, get away from me. I'm only gonna warn you once. So when I started getting a lot bigger and I was working out a lot back then, I actually told her. I said, look, and we had a pool at our house. I said, I'm just gonna throw you in the pool whenever you annoy me now. So she didn't think that was gonna happen. So I warned her twice. I said, you get two. I tore her.
You get two. That's it, and then it's
get
done.
two,
Isn't it?
it's done. So
Then it's
I-
pool dunking time.
Yeah. So
pool dunking time.
I literally,
Swirly.
I picked her up, and you know, I played football and everything, so I just tore her through the house, and she was like grabbing paintings and everything on the wall. Yeah, and I was just pissed. So I opened the back door and I threw her in the pool with all of her brand new clothes, chlorine in there. They got destroyed.
Oh, your mom must have been pissed because I'm sure
No.
she paid for those clothes.
She came in crying and everything, and my dad was sitting there, and she's like, Ian just threw me in the pool, and he goes, well, he warned you twice.
Nice.
I was like,
love.
it worked. It worked.
I love Bob's.
Did she ever do that
like,
again?
Mental thought
One time.
process there. Yeah.
One
It's
time
like
she
you're
did it.
learning your lesson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Oh,
she
man.
did it one more time. I threw her in the pool again, and she every time I'd warn her, like when I was starting to get really pissed, she stopped. So
Nice.
that's kind of nice.
Nice.
That's a good
Yeah,
lesson.
because you only give them
Like-
two. Because you give them three, then they just keep doing it until they get to
Yeah,
two.
exactly. They'll
It's
push
like-
the boundaries, man.
yeah.
And
So-
you don't want to have you don't have to be annoyed 3 times either. You just
No, man.
two's enough.
Exactly.
Right now.
2 is enough.
One is not enough.
We're talking
3
about
is
younger
straight out.
siblings, guys.
2 is the number.
Younger siblings? Heck no, we ain't gonna deal with that.
Nope. So
Steve-o, man.
what about you, man?
I have a younger half sister. She's I think 25, 26 now. We have the same mother. She when we were younger and everything like that, I can't think about it. My dad, I guess, would let her like hit me in the face and stuff like that, and he'd laugh about it. And when I get mad at her, he would get mad at me about it.
Oh my god.
Like I
Different.
had a scar for a long time right here from when she scratched me with her little nails or something like that. And I just remember like I couldn't do anything back to her or whatever like that because he would get mad at me immediately or something like that. But as far as like rivalries, I don't think we've ever had any rivalries. The only things I can think about is rivalries because I consider Rocco like a brother to me. Because when we were younger, we'd always be in the same house. I mean, right by Ian, the same house,
Yep.
I mean, Rocco's heard the story a million times. But I remember when we were younger, something happened when he threw a baseball at me, at my face. It hit me in the head. I was so pissed off. Right, he's in front of this giant mirror, right, that's in the living room. He antagonizes it and everything like that because I'm crying, and he's like, "Yep, just like that." I throw it at him. He dodges it, breaks the mirror. I get in trouble for it.
Oh.
Shouldn't have thrown a fucking baseball, bitch.
Hey, you threw it at me. The mirror's still broken to this day. It's a side panel. They never fixed it. Yeah. Another one was the karate thing. Like, I don't know why he did this back then, but it was just like little things like that. But like he would I was like he would be in a karate, and the thing is like he's 3 months older than me, or 2 months older than me. So like I always looked up to him and everything like that, and I still do. But he just I would say, teach me karate or something like that. He's like, okay, do the stance like this, so the legs wide open. He's go like this. He's like, go like that. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, whop, kicks me right in the nuts. Kicks me right in the nuts.
Dude.
And then you hear my Aunt Sherry.
I might have been a little bit of a dick too.
You hear my Aunt Sherry in the kitchen. She's making breakfast. She goes, pancakes are done. He goes, oh, pancakes, and just runs out of the room. And I'm sitting there crying in the room. And I sit there walking out there crying. And
Rocco!
And he's sitting there eating pancakes. He's in there eating pancakes like nothing just fucking happened.
What are you doing, bro? Why didn't you take so long to get some of these pancakes?
You should have blocked it. Should have blocked it.
Should have blocked it, bro. I thought you had quick reflexes like a mongoose. Like,
You gotta learn karate. You gotta block it.
So I had that brother experience and everything, and
Yeah.
it was great. I've seen Rocco and Jake and everything like that too. I mean, Jake, annoyed Rocco too, and then Rocco would just sometimes get mad and just like punch him in the stomach or something like that, and then he'd be like,
hey man, tell him about the
the
blue eyes story. Tell him about the blue eyes story.
blue eye story. Oh, this is another thing too, man. Listen to this. Okay, we're swimming in the pool, right? And like I said, I looked up to him. He had crystal blue eyes like he does right now still. And we're swimming.
He's a heartthrob.
He's a heartthrob. That's
He's a
true.
heartthrob, baby. Crystal blue.
So we're swimming around in the pool, right? And I'm like, Rocco, I said, how did you get blue eyes? And we're probably like 5, 6 years old or something like that. He's like, oh, I just opened my eyes in the pool.
Pretty much.
I
absorbed the water that's blue into my eyes.
Right. So I did that all
Brilliant.
day, dude. I could not see after that day. Like,
Oh
He had
my
his eyes
god.
all day in the pool in the
Oh,
chlorine
all
pool,
day in the
dude.
pool.
This is giving me really great things to like talk to my son about. You're like, don't lie. If someone asks you advice, give them real advice. If you don't know the answer, just say you don't know the answer. And whatever you do, don't make them believe in doing something harmful to their bodies.
And he knew this. So what was the story that your mom actually told you how you got blue eyes?
Oh, the angels sprinkled tear dust in my eyes and shit.
Right, exactly. But he knew that
Whatever the hell it
story.
was,
He
yeah.
knew that story before I did that.
Yeah, dude. I told him, it was like, oh yeah. Whatever.
Just open your
Hey,
eyes
tell him
to
about
water.
the Rocco's Modern Life one.
Oh, that was dumb. He guys, Rocco's Modern Life show.
Yeah, I know Rocco
back
does
in the day.
not like
He
hearing
does not
that.
like hearing that. I don't know why. But I guess it's a wallaby or something like that. But yeah, we used to always call Rocco's Modern Life and everything like that. And he would get so pissed off. You wouldn't get a warning, Ian. You wouldn't
Yep.
be two or anything. It just boom, right off the bat and everything. But I mean, it was all good still. Like, I mean, we always looked out for each other in school. I remember some kid kicked the ball in my face, and Rocco was like, "That's my cousin." Just immediately jumps on him, starts beating him up like immediately. Like, it was funny.
We had each other's
That's my
back.
cousin.
Even though we did a lot of like rivalry and stuff, Jill
For sure.
still had it.
That's my cousin. That's my cousin.
Don't you
Right,
fucking
yeah.
touch him. Oh yeah, I touch him.
No, that's
Guys,
just how
That
it
sounds
rolls.
weird. That sounds
And-
weird. But, I mean,
Yeah.
fight him.
I was-
Fight him.
yeah.
Sibling rivalries are a thing, but I feel like they're inevitable, and
Yeah.
they do make it. It's good. You learn a lot of stuff from them.
But it
Oh,
also
yeah.
can build like a good relationship too. You know,
Yeah.
it can build a deeper relationship.
For sure,
So-
you build
More meaningful.
respect. And
And not just that, like, you know, with me having an older brother, it was funny because I never really got picked on because my brother was so much older, and actually my brother was kind of a troubled kid, and he was like the bully around. So no one ever really messed with. I never was really picked on or anything because a lot of times I always felt that those people, their older brothers, were afraid of my brother. You know.
Yeah.
And then when he left, you know, I felt like it did kind of toughen me up a lot. And it's great that we have a great relationship nowadays. You know, but it was always pretty interesting. It was like, hey, you can't beat up my brother, but I can. You know,
Yeah.
that's just how it flows. You know,
I got you.
and I always protected my little sister. You know, there had been a few things that had always come about that I had to get involved in. It felt like, you know.
But it's so, even though you have your rivalries, it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
there's not love there, and that protection's
of
not
course.
still there. Like you were just saying, it's like, yeah, that's my little brother. I can beat him up. That's my little sister. I can beat him up, but you can't do nothing to them. You know, that's not cool.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
hey, who's this episode part brought to you by?
this episode is brought to you by Facebook.
Oh,
You can go to facebook.com/MaelstromGamers and you can like us. And once you do that, you'll start getting some newsfeed updates when we release videos, when we release
Oh, there you go.
cool different episodes, and when we lose like a contest or anything, and there's like a betting or there's like a stipulation involved, like Rocco having to buy a Tiger Beat and take a picture of it.
Yep,
You'll
pretty
get
much.
you get that. There it is. Look, thanks,
Yep.
Steve-O. That's
our Facebook page.
That's the
That's our
Facebook.
Facebook
Brought to you
page.
by
So
Maelstrom Games.
check it out. It's a free way to support us.
You got it.
And it really, really helps. It
Yep.
helps a ton. So that's that episode. We're going to go to the next topic. Steve-O,
All right.
the bad boy.
Mine's gonna be favorite League of Legends characters. Now, League of Legends is a game. It's a MOBA.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's a MOBA?
What's a MOBA? MOBA is
It's like you
MOBA.
describe it.
It's like a
Oh, it's like
Cobra.
Massive online battle arena. What does that mean, Steve?
Right. That means that there's a bunch of people that go on and kill each other.
He's like, yeah, pretty much. Okay,
So-
I like your answer.
Like,
All right.
You will get a C minus
C
Yep.
minus. C minus.
because you
for
said
life.
you kill each other. That
Borderline
was-
D.
All right.
Big
Favorite
up.
character in the MOBA, Varus. I'm done. Out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And why?
It's kind of true. It's kind
All
of
right.
true.
Yeah. There's no question. Okay. So
Okay,
I
Varus.
started-
Explain what Varus is.
There's not a no question. There's just you haven't been exposed to any.
I have been exposed.
You
Look,
played all the other
Rocco,
characters.
I know what I want and I know what I like and I know what I want to work on.
That
I'm not going to
can't be
waste
the
time on
case.
anything else.
Oh my gosh, dude! You
It's
have
very
like,
simple.
Out of like 35 characters, champions, you've got maybe 4 unlocked, and you've only tried like.
No, I have
Actually,
enough
it's
to be ranked, so that
123.
means I have at
It's
least
123?
16.
123 characters.
What? It really
Out of
is?
123, I have at least 16 unlocked.
I
And
think.
I've played about at least half of them.
No.
I've tried Rangar, I've tried Zed, I've tried Talon, I've
Never
tried.
seen it.
I've
I've seen Talon.
Oh yeah, of course you haven't seen it because all I have to do is go on and practice, and then I'm like, nah, I
No.
don't like this character.
No.
Here's the thing. I started playing MOBAs with the now defunct DC MOBA, and I was really into Green Arrow and the ranged attack damage,
I
which
knew
is to
that.
say a person's job in this game is just to do damage at a ranged, right? So you're just that's your role. Other roles are like making sure people stay alive, or making sure you're the one taking the damage, or making sure that like enemies are spread out and like or that you're doing an objective like capturing a dragon or like making sure that you're farming for gold. That's all fun and good, but I want to be the guy that's doing all the big number damage. That's fun for me. So I picked up Green Arrow for that role, but also because I'm really obsessed with Green Arrow. I think he's a fun character, and then I started getting enamored with that playstyle. When we started playing League, I was looking for a character that was very similar. I still haven't found that, but Varus is the closest thing. So not only was it easy to transfer my knowledge from the DC MOBA onto League of Legends, but I also knew that I was going to enjoy that playstyle because, like in DC, I've tried different playstyles, and there's the melee, like close combat. There's like the support. There's like the
Right.
dots. Like that's all good and fun, but I really like the skill shot, which is to say, you know, you press a button and it's up to like you to lead an enemy and shoot
lead,
and aim.
yeah, whatever you.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where a lot could just be like click and apply apply a power or something, but I like
Right.
juking and I like doing the skill shots, and so that's why I'm attracted to Varus. And I knew right away, like I played so much DC and like other like in League.
So
that,
is it Varus though, or is it just like the ADC position? Is it like, because have you tried all the other ADCs that you could potentially
Yeah,
play?
I tried.
Because I was
Yeah,
gonna say, if you want to do all the damage, just play Singed.
No, well, no, but it's the range and the skill shots. Singe
Yeah.
doesn't have skill shots, so it's a combination of different things that I know what I like, and I've tried Jinx, I've tried Lucian, I've tried Vayne.
What
and
about
they're
Israel?
okay.
He's got skill shots out the Yang.
Nah, yeah, but see, here's the thing: is like I've looked at all of their powers and how and what they do, and just nothing compares to the combination of what Varus has. Like he applies those dots, and then the skill shot blows up. He's got zoning and slowing with the AOE, and then his ult is awesome. That it like ties everybody together. It's a good team. So like I haven't found that combination, and I really like the Green Arrow character was cool because different stances apply different types of arrows, and it would be like a slow or an AoE bomb or a piercing, which would go through, and then his ult would change based on that. It was freaking awesome, and it was really fun to play because there was a lot of micromanaging involved.
So you you also chose a hunter in World of Warcraft as your first character, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So is there some type of like I want to be Legolas in your mind or something?
No,
Like, is there something about this idea?
He doesn't
of
have
this,
a bow and arrow, I
this
guarantee it.
bow and arrow ranged character kind of style?
Recently, because I'm loving the Arrow TV show, so I'm just like I
Yeah.
want to role play this character.
Gotcha.
But I actually really went to a rogue in World of Warcraft at one point, and then I eventually landed on a paladin. And the reason why I like the paladin is because I do enjoy getting close range in playing WoW. But the paladin was, again, the high damage. The only difference was between him and a rogue is that he actually had way more survivability. And in the battlegrounds, like in a multiplayer,
He had way more
that's what you
sustain to
want.
be able to stay alive and keep killing.
And
and keep
that's what
killing.
matters is
Yeah.
just stay alive so the objectives can keep going. Where a rogue just gets blown up, they can't do sustained damage. They pop someone and then they have to go out of the battle, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't fun. So
Yeah. I gotcha.
that's where I'm at with that.
I gotcha.
So now my favorite, you guys know, of course, is Singed. I enjoy not just playing him, but just his style. Like he laughs every time because he has this little move where he'll fling people back, and he laughs and he has like this really like deep.
He's a troll.
madman
He's a
laugh.
troll.
He's a troll.
Oh yeah,
He's a mummy. Okay, not a troll.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's part mummy. So I don't know. I've always kind of like I did like that. Now to go away from that, like just one that I kind of think is.
But why? But elaborate a little bit more on Singed. Like, what is it? Besides just a throwback and the laugh that he has, you play that character all the time. What else is it that you like so much about him?
It's just that I can do so much damage and get out of situations with him. I know that character very well.
Yeah.
And it's like a
Because you come
permanent-
away with like 10 hit points every team fight, but manage to kill like 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's cool too because your character really focuses on boot speed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Movement speed, which is like so unique.
See,
I don't know of
yeah,
another
runner-
character that does.
Heck,
See you running across the map
yeah.
and everything. He's like, coming in, flip,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
or you're looking up at him, right? And he's like, the first tower's not even down, the second tower's not even down, and he's in their Nexus base, like chasing these guys, killing them, and you're like, what the hell's going on? How did he manage to
I
do
got this, guys. I got this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So it's like the speed too as well. So like obviously your mind's got to think a little bit differently when playing a Singed character instead of just the other characters, because your damage is done by the gas that you're releasing behind you, really, not about a skill shot or something where you're targeting a character. So it's like about knowing how to run past somebody, where to be. It's all about positioning, I'd say, for your character. So your
That's
mind
it.
kind of works really well for the positioning part, I'd say, because you play Singed unbelievably.
God,
You know?
I want to play right now.
And that's the whole aspect of it. I like being able to outrun anyone. Like if they're running away from him, like I'm gonna catch him.
Yeah.
I want them to get away from me. And it's nice to, and he's very tanky too, so I can run in there, take some hits, and still get out.
Yeah,
And
right.
I think it's hilarious when my whole team is chasing someone and I'm way at the back, and then I don't know, I'm just like, whoop, and I
Yeah.
catch them, fling them back to my team. So
Yeah, exactly. I like that one too.
yeah.
But okay, so you were gonna say though, outside of Singed, what is another dynamic that you like a lot?
Well, like if we're talking about characters that we like, not just play style, like
Talking about favorite characters.
Favorite characters.
Favorite,
favorite
bro.
character.
Not just like.
Yeah, your favorite. Like maybe only 2.
that you
Yeah.
want to have babies with.
Yeah, that you'd want to lay in bed with.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it'd be a great topic. Mary Buff Kill, League of Legends character.
Very rough kill. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on one more real quick while you're thinking of another one there, Ian.
That's fine.
As of right now, I've been trying out a bunch of different characters. I was liking Kale a lot. I was liking Amumu a lot, but right now, like my number one character for me is Hecarim. And I like Hecarim. He's another one that moves. His movement speed has a big deal. That's me. And there's gunshots going off in the background. Where I'm in Georgia.
There,
I'm in Georgia. There, we do our thing.
I got him.
We believe in our guns.
It's right here.
So, yeah, it's right here.
It's like,
The episode is shit.
Yeah.
learning about that afterlife, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna figure out about that one real soon.
You like Hecarim though?
Hecarim, though, that's where it's at. So movement speed for Hecarim, his damage is increased by his movement speed. He's one like Singed, and the reason why I like him, and it's not so much just him, is you were talking about like the play style that you have, Clay, in the right position for you is ADC. The one that I feel is that for me is jungle. I feel like my mindset works perfect for jungle. I'm thinking ahead about where do I think the jungler is going to be? Which lane do I think he's going to go pressure on? If he's in that lane, if I'm not close to that lane, can I go counter jungle, take some of his stuff for gold? Can I get into everybody's lane well enough? Who's going to be the stronger, who's going to be the weaker opponent in the lane that I need to give more attention to? So Hecarim is one of those characters that I love because, one, he can be awesome in jungle because he's capable of moving around the map so fast. I'm able to get from the top of the map to the bottom of the map in what feels like 10 seconds, where normally another character might have to back, go, teleport, do something different or crazy, or not even be able to get there. Where I feel like I'm able to get there in time and then be able to deliver enough damage to on top of it that either I can solidify the kill or somebody that I'm going to go help gank in that lane can do it, do it themselves. But Hecarim is one of the champion kits that I think is awesome. He's got an area effect damage. He has a ability to do lifesteal, essentially. He's got a dash to be able to do high amounts of damage on towers and people to also catch people and run them down. And then he's also got an ult, which is a great initiator, which is to fear the pretty much a radius, an area effect of whatever way I direct it. So it's
Why are you laughing, Steve?
because the
It
gunshots.
sounds like they're executing somebody in the back.
They are. There's it's terrible. It's going on in the background. Just whatever. No,
that's
it's
great.
probably
Okay.
just shooting
keep
practice.
going, sorry.
But Hecarim for me, and on top of that, he's the death pony, man. He's a horse. He's a big horse, or well, not just a horse, but a, what do you call it, kind of guy? Centaur kind of guy. Although he's centaurish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Although he's like,
Undead
an undead. Yeah, exactly, an undead centaur. So it's kind of
It's
cool.
fucking even cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and that plays a part in my decision, probably more so than most people. Is when I'm playing a game, I love to role play the person I'm playing in my head.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be this cool guy. Dude, Varys, like, fucking, he's got moves that like resemble Venom from like Marvel's like Spider-Man and Venom, and with his ult. And then I get to see him look in this like cool ice like Metal Gear camo. Like, dude,
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty cool.
he fucking looks like a ninja. Like it's too cool. So I
I
was like,
feel
yeah,
like
this
he can
guy
role
is-
play Singed too as well. Like he was talking about the laugh, right? Like I feel like he gets into that role.
So
I
that
guess-
definitely plays like. What
I
about you,
guess when I
Steve?
start playing, I should be like,
The shit talker.
like, because I'm a horse and shit.
You're just like eating a carrot.
Yeah.
Like,
This is good, guys.
all right, bad boy. Who's your?
All
There's
right,
no
I'd have
cops.
to say. Yeah, I would say. I mean, you guys see me up playing. I've been playing a lot of different characters lately. But I would have to say my favorite so far, I would have to say would be Annie right now. Honestly,
Yeah,
because
you do good, Annie.
she can definitely play like a support role, or she can go mid. She can do a lot of damage if she needs to. She also
Yeah.
has a giant bear that she can drop on somebody and stun their entire team if she wanted to. And just in that little tiny time span, which I think is 1.5 seconds for the stun, she can put off a lot of damage and almost kill you, or kill you depending on how much. Not depending on how much AP, which is attack power, or not attack power, ability power that you have. Also, like I said, I've always wanted to be the guy in the game. Like, I've never been that guy where it was just like oh, he's a badass. He can freaking kill everybody. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to be that guy. So like that's what I try to strive for that role. My other character would probably be Katarina, which she has, the daggers and the swords for people that don't know who she is. She can get into battles and get out. I guess the whole play style is she can't be focused down a lot. She goes down pretty quick. Also, when she kills people, she does the reset. You guys know that and everything, where all of her abilities reset, so you don't have a cooldown on them.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Trying to think.
She's a crazy champ. If she gets a kill or 2 kills or 3 kills, for anybody who's out there listening that doesn't know about this game, like it's almost like game over, because she just starts to take that snowball lead.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it in like a perspective where listeners that listen in would know what we're talking about if they don't know anything about the game. Yeah. But she's basically a mid lane person. She can roam if you want from the mid lane and go down to the bottom lane and help out too. Like I kind of like that role too, like what Rock was saying in the jungle, where you help out of the lanes.
Yeah, that is fun to gank. And feel like you're really contributing to the team in that way.
Well, see, that's what I like about that too. The reason why I like the jungle so much, and I like Hecarim, like I was talking about, he's got that crazy move speed, so I can get around a lot, is that, man, if you can help gank those lanes. So if anybody's not listening, there's a top lane, there's a middle lane, there's a bottom lane, and there's a jungle for anyone who doesn't know League of Legends.
Right.
So
okay. I was like, not listening.
No, I said not listening, but didn't know what League of Legends, how it operates. But the reason why I like Hecarim and I like the jungle is because I feel like I contribute to, because I'm fast enough to be able to move through the jungle so fast that I'm able to contribute to all 3 lanes. And when you're able to do that and you're able to help get those ganks, get those kills, it helps the entire team as a whole snowball. Because then it helps each lane get those extra kills, that extra gold which comes from the kills, so that you can buy items that are now going to be better items than the other opposing team, and you'll be able to pretty much lean and beat them out on damage. So that's why I like Hecarim, like I was talking about Hecarim jungle, because I feel like I can really contribute big time. Maybe I'm not going to be the guy at the end of the game that's like, holy shit, he's got 25 kills. But I might be the guy that has 40 assists, like I did the other game. And it's just because of contributing to everybody else's lanes and stuff and helping them get their ganks too as well.
Right.
So that's one thing I really liked about the jungle role too.
Cool. Yeah, jungle role is great. I can pretty much play almost any position or lane, but that was my second best position. I was going to let you guys know is I actually really enjoy playing jungle with Yi, and I haven't done it in a long time. But his ability to, again, another fast character to catch up to people, and you stack attack speed and lifesteal. Now, he's just so quick and just slamming it out, man. Like, just getting in there, killing people, and he could wreck a whole team within seconds.
It's insane.
So
him and Jax.
Yeah.
Those guys get nuts.
I think the most fun character to ever play, like, I like him.
Yes, yeah.
Teemo. You just hide in bushes and you put little traps everywhere.
You don't even have to hide in bushes, man. You can hide right in the middle of the lane. Yeah, just be invisible in the middle of the lane. Somebody's walking by, doesn't even see you, blind them right off the bat, just destroy him.
Yes, you'll get an AD carry, and he'll think that he's going to destroy you, but you blind him and you just dot the hell out of him. He's dead. And
for those that don't know, if you're blinded, you can't do any abilities to be able to pretty much get out or do any type of damage to that person. So it's pretty much 2 or 3 seconds, whatever that blind is, I forget what it is, but of just free damage you can do. Jeez, guys.
Actually, hey, Rock, you can still do abilities, they just don't do damage. Attack damage.
I thought it stopped the ability from happening too, no?
Well, like if that ability is an attack damage based, now if it's like a magic base, you still get hit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So that's why he's so strong against your Nasus, and because if he blinds him and he does the Q, which is a huge stack every time it kills what is called a minion, or the little NPCs that come through the waves, it stacks up and he can miss that. So
you know what else, Ian? You know what else stacks up?
What's that?
Dollars stack up. So if you go on patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers, you can give us maybe just $1, and that will stack up over the months. If just every so often we get $1 from you guys, that money's gonna grow and it's gonna help us a ton.
And
So-
again,
I like these
Steven,
exits.
Steven
What's
let
that?
us know the other day that you could actually donate in pesos.
Yeah, you can donate in pesos. Look, if you just got an extra couple change lying around, just $1, it really helps out. Going on patreon.com/MaelstromGamers. And we have rewards for you, too. So you'll get a special episode just for you. But just by giving $1, you'll give you, for a couple more dollars, we can get the MP3 early. We can get the videos early, so you don't have to wait. You can get the whole episodes a week early.
Those are me giving you kisses if you don't.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
what that
okay,
was.
and you get kisses
Wait,
from the Heartthrob, which
Mm.
it's
Oh, okay,
awesome.
okay. I thought you were giving kisses to Clay.
Or that
Yeah,
too.
me too. I thought I was like, oh, that's a little...
Euros too. You can do that in euros if you need.
Oh yeah, euros would be better.
So I'm gonna go to our next topic. I'm gonna switch it up on you actually. This is perfect too, because if you guys are listening to the MP3 and listening to this YouTube, you're hearing gunshots in the back behind Rocco's head there, and as of the date of this recording, recently we've witnessed yet again
Yeah.
another tragic school shooting,
Mhm.
which as always when we see these shootings brings up the question of gun control and guns in America. And I'll start off by saying this is very controversial, and I'm going to do my best to be objective, because I know that I lean towards a certain way. But the goal of this topic is not necessarily to cram down our ideals to who's listening, but to have an open discussion about the pros and cons of what is going on and what we could do, and to kind of talk about both sides and do our best to be objective, right? So, gun control, guns, maybe not guns control in particular, but the shooting issue in America, and in particular, the fact that it's being targeted and done within school systems. What are you guys' thoughts on that? What is your approach to potentially solve this issue?
Just on gun control in general, or just in?
I don't want to harp on gun control, and I apologize for using that word. I want to harp on shooting.
Yeah,
like shootings
trying to
in school.
like.
Because gun control has a lot like that immediately makes people think, oh, that means no guns, right?
You're gonna
And
take
I don't want
guns
to,
away.
yeah, I don't want to
No.
necessarily harp on that, but I do want to harp on the fact that we have shootings, and they happen in schools, and I want to talk about how we could solve that. And what your thoughts?
Well,
are.
I mean, the thing is like you can. I mean, in school, you can have those checks and everything that go on a thing, but the thing is schools don't like to do those checks because then it makes it look like it's an unsafe school to go to, no matter where
Okay.
you go. Even
I
if it's
agree.
like Harvard or something like that, you have somebody checking people out every time they go in there. But go ahead, Rockstar.
Now this is a he said she said kind of thing that I've heard the same kind of thing that you were talking about, like checks, like they're gonna
Yeah.
you walk into the school and they're gonna pat you down kind of deal to kind of find out if you have any type of weapon or whatnot. I think I agree with you, Steve. That's ridiculous. There's a simple solution to that though. Make every school entrance or whatever exit, whatever it is that you get into that school, make there be a metal detector if you can, something where they're
Well,
going to be walking through.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
saying. Like
expensive,
people,
though.
yeah, it's
I mean,
expensive,
can we
and
afford that?
But is it? I don't know. So like, 'cause this whole situation is based out of fear, right? We're going to be making choices out of fear because of fear of gun solution. I mean, children being gunned down in schools. I think. If you're going to be making out of fear, yes, I think that it'd be worth it. I think it wouldn't
It's
be
not
worth
a fear. It's a reality.
No,
it's
I
the
know.
reality that these are talking about, and it's fear. Like it makes people fearful, but
Right. I mean,
I don't think it's reaction. I don't think it's like irrationally.
I don't think it's
reactionary. I think-
irrational either. I think though, I don't know. I mean, I think that maybe it's worth that then. Maybe it's worth it to spend a few $1,000s to be able to make sure that you're gonna try to eliminate the best of your ability without having cops at every corner.
yeah, because
know,
honestly,
Yeah,
some
believe
of
me,
these
I'm all
colleges
for it.
they make a ton of money. So
Absolutely,
they can do
absolutely.
that.
But I mean, we're talking about installation costs. and
So I don't
upkeep.
have.
Like, I don't know if it's
news,
realistic.
and I don't have TV. What school shooting are you guys referring to? by the
It's
way?
about in Arizona. It just happened.
It was in Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oregon.
well, there was one in just Arizona then, or was that the one that just happened this?
It
couple
just
days
happened
ago?
where Obama visited the families recently.
Oh, so it was
in
Oregon. My
Yeah.
bad. I thought
It
it was
was Oregon.
Arizona.
It was in Oregon Community College.
Okay.
If I get that
Well,
right.
I mean, really, there's no like one solution to this. Okay.
No.
I mean,
And this
you
is
can't
fascinating
just-
because you guys are from the you guys are all in the South, and so I feel like you have a certain point of view that I really want to acknowledge and appreciate. But sorry, go ahead, Ian.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I like me personally. I have guns, so there to me it's home protection. If you just ban guns throughout the country, you know that criminals are going to still have guns.
Right.
You know? So
I would like to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to pick at that for a second because when these conversations come up, unfortunately, only after something like a shooting happens, we start talking about solutions, and immediately people start freaking out and go, "You're not taking my guns away."
No, of course.
Even when we talk about regulation on guns, about making it harder to get a gun, people are like, no, you're not taking my guns away. It's like, whoa, hold on. Nobody's saying taking your guns away.
Yeah.
We're going to just make it harder to get guns. I mean, and I've been seeing this this image pop around about how it's harder to get a license for a car than it is for a gun. And that, I feel, speaks volumes about the regulations that we have. Like, how is a gun? The amount of responsibility that you need for a gun is far greater than a car, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
So why is it not? You know what I mean?
No, and regulations is perfectly fine with me because I mean, a person that should have a gun could pass those regulations, whatever the criteria is to get a gun. So right. I fully agree. And when these situations do come up, depending on if it's a child or an adult, I mean, I agree with, Rocco sitting there stating, in schools, if we're talking about schools in general, you got to have that checkpoint from walking in because that's where you're going to have to stop it, is it getting actually inside. Now, okay, so we run into a cost issue. So are we putting a price tag on all of those children's head saying, oh, hey, well, if it costs this much, it's not worth it, So that's where I think, okay, then you have you hire two people that do like a morning and an afternoon. So when people come in and leave, making sure that there's no weapons, and you have almost just like getting on an airplane. You come in, you put your book bag in, goes through the thing, they check everything. So,
but how do you okay? So an airplane, a building has very distinct entrances and exits. How does two people cover a campus, an open campus on college?
I mean, I was just making an example, but like I'm going off of my middle school here. Rocco went to the same middle school as me. There was actually like a fence all the way around. There was only really two entrances in. Granted, it looked open, but there was only two ways to
now
get in.
this obviously is not going to be able to apply to an open campus,
or a lot of schools in that.
Well,
like Columbine wasn't
they're gonna have
either.
then they're going to have to game plan that. Think of a way. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is at that point.
I mean, there's so many ways you can go with it. Like you're saying, like you can make it harder to get a gun and everything like that. But ultimately, it just comes down to people. Like Columbine, it was an open campus. I mean, I can see like if they had a fenced-in place, or even if they had metal detectors, those guys walked in like when everyone was in class, just walked in. Two kids just walked in with armed to the teeth with guns and stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, nothing could have stopped that. Even if you had one extra security on duty, one guy. I mean, you hear about that all the time, but you don't hear about the people that actually own guns. Like the one teacher, I think it was in Colorado, he had a gun, right? A guy came in on the campus. He had I think a 6-shooter or something like that, or something. He had a bunch of guns, but the teacher had a gun and actually took out the kid before he started killing anybody like that.
Right.
He started opening fire. Didn't happen to shoot anybody, but killed the kid. But you don't hear about that because that's not what the media wants you to hear about, is someone stopping someone with their own gun. You know what I mean?
Or in the movie theaters when they're firing off and the other person fires.
Right, and that's another thing too.
Like to save other individuals.
They're doing checks now. Like I'm going to the movies now. They're doing bag checks now. That sucks because you can't sneak food in. But I mean, what would you rather have? You know what I mean? Guns.
Right, of
but,
course.
Like, I liked it. It made me feel safer that they're checking bags and everything like that. But there's still, if they want to get in there, they'll get in there no matter what. You know what I mean?
So I think gun regulation. Like a more strict. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that too. There needs to be deeper gun regulations. That do whatever we got to do to make it a little bit difficult. At least it should be more difficult than
really
getting your driver's license. To get a weapon that can take somebody's life, and even though a car can too. But
It's like,
take a-
wait, you have to
they
wait,
take
like,
a
you
person's
just have to
life.
fill out like a form and then wait 3 weeks. Is that it, or something like that? No, that's what I heard, right?
3 days.
Three days? I thought it was 3 weeks. Okay. Dang,
No, and like
that's super easy
Oregon,
then.
and it's state regulated. Like, so Oregon had no assault rifle, like bans or whatever like that. They had you didn't need a license or something like that. You didn't need a gun license. Like, it was open, like it was so free willing. And I understand the argument that a car can take out someone too, but you can't put your car and your backpack into a movie theater. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
You can't do that, okay?
Yeah.
And you also can't ram, I don't know, 50 people
Yeah.
as easily as you can with a fucking assault rifle. You just
Right.
can't.
No,
And
I
they're
agree.
like, well, you know what? You can take a knife in. It's like, yeah, you could probably stab 2 people, but can you kill 50 children? No. Okay, so let's kind of put this in perspective
Yeah.
and really look at like what a gun is compared to other like weapons.
Right.
So, okay. I think that, we're looking at methods of like reactions instead of like attacking the source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need to create better mental health facilities across the United States to help
Yeah.
every individual to see where they're at, mentally, and to help the economy as a whole go up, higher. Because if you have mental health facilities placed all over where everybody's attending, that means that even the individuals that aren't, say, going to go on a murdering spree, but are individuals that are just not contributing to society and, maybe helping them get to somewhere where they are.
Yeah.
I think the core or the source is attacking the source. That all these individuals that are doing these attacks and these school shootings, they have some screw loose upstairs. They're not Joe Schmo who's just like, yeah, I feel great. I'm always great. Things are good in life, and I just feel like killing people today. It doesn't happen like that. So they got something loose upstairs. They're either one taking some type of pharmaceutical drugs that's altering their even emotions,
Chemical balance.
their chemical
inside their
balances.
head,
So
yeah.
So this is important, guys, because like some people will be like, oh, you can't blame it on a pharmaceutical. You can too, in a way, because if you take certain pharmaceuticals that suppress your emotions, you become very cold. You become very uncompassionate, where things like killing somebody seems rational to you, and it doesn't. You don't have an emotion to tell you it's not. To tell you, hey, you should feel bad about that idea or anxiety about that idea. They're like, I feel like that's fine.
Take it from me too, because like I work in a pharmacy and I've seen people that were completely normal and they're on certain medication, and I just see them deteriorate over time. And like it could be for anything from them being irritable and getting more meaner, or from just nothing on their face at all, no expression, just like blankness.
Exactly.
That's
don't
scary.
even know how to use a keypad machine, half the time. Because
So-
I mean,
It's so
that's
true.
horrible.
Like,
they just deteriorate, and I'm just like, wow, you remember so and so like at the beginning, and they're like, yeah. It was like, her now, like she's just gone, like completely gone. There's nothing there anymore. So it's like, I absolutely agree with you as far as the pharmaceutical point. Like you can blame some of that stuff because I mean, yeah, they do testing, but it's not like years and years of testing before they come out with some of the stuff.
There was independent articles on a lot of these school shooters, and that they were on pharmaceutical drugs that alter your emotions or alter your mind in some way. Like almost every one of them was. Now, this wasn't being publicized in the mainstream media because the pharmaceutical industry is $1 trillion industry. You don't think that they want that to be out there,
No.
right?
Right.
All they do is
So,
just
like,
pay a big
first
check.
off, exactly. So, like, one, I think, that's a big deal. One, like, we need to, have a really good understanding too as well, Clay, an unbiased perspective where it's not just leaning towards, you're only seeing the situations where the guns are being used in a bad setting, but you're also seeing them with the teacher, the regular civilian that used their gun to stop a movie shooting, to anything in any situation where the gun's being used in a positive light. That is one thing I think needs to happen. It needs to stop being so biased. There needs to be a level playing field, at least, journalists without an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I think there needs to be a mental health, a better mental health,
Absolutely agree with you
whatever
there.
you want to call it, like program put into place nationwide to help.
There's
every
psychiatrists that
individual.
know and hear these guys talk about they want to kill stuff, and it's like it's a catch-22 because they can't tell anybody. But it's like, okay, we need to come at it from a different
I
angle.
think that
though.
there needs to be better gun regulation. There does. It needs to be more difficult, for individuals to be able to get a weapon on their hands because, we don't need people on pharmaceuticals or any other states that you would think would be a normal person, and then all of a sudden they flip their shit and they've got a gun on their hands. Because,
What about a psych test before you get a gun?
Well, that's what I think too. So they
Right?
should,
Like,
there
why-
should
why-
definitely be something involved where it's like, I need to know if you're ever had the tendencies of being a murderer. What kind of prescription drugs are you on to at the same time? Like, what are you know, what's going on here? And now a lot of these situations, not all of them, but some of them are involved where they are children that have taken their parents' weapons. You know what I mean? So it's like another one of those situations. Who knows there if it could still be played out. But one other thing too, Clay, is that there is, you know, I know that it seems like you're not, but there is a lot of other individuals that want to take away all of gun control. I mean,
they look at Australia and just ban all guns.
Well, look, look at Australia too as well, where you know, crime rates have gone up, petty crimes have gone up, burglaries, in-house burglaries have gone up because now these criminals know that none of these individuals are walking around with their guns. You know what I mean? Like, they know that can break into your house. Elderly people's homes are being broken into more often now in Australia than they ever have been before because they're more likely to be armed.
Is that causation or correlation?
I think,
I mean, I'm hearing this, but I don't know if it's actually a result of banning guns at the same time.
I think it could possibly be if I'm going to put myself in the mindset of a criminal, and I still have my weapon because I'm clearly not going to go turn mine in on the you know, I'm not going to be the citizen that's like, let's go be lawful and go out here and go give you my gun. And I've got my guns, and I know that all these individuals just dropped theirs out, you know, threw them on there, gave them up to the government, did what they want to do. I know now I have easy pickings if I want, because the only people walking around with any type of weapons are now going to be the military or the police. And if I can avoid them, then I'm not going to have some gun shootout, and I'm more likely going to be able to take most of these individuals, you know, for granted. Whether it be house, you know, burglaries, whether it be just on the road walking by, I can now pull out a gun. You don't got a gun. I know you're not going to have a gun. And I'm like, give me your money. And I'm out. You know, like, if I'm a criminal, I'm sure as hell going to do more crimes now because there's less, like, the only thing that would have probably held me back would be the possibility of the opposing person having a gun and blasting me first. That'd be the only thing. Like, maybe I'm not going to go in the house. Now
I'm not advocating gun ban.
No, I know that you're not. I'm just saying, though, that there is a lot of individuals that are doing that. Now, I'm not advocating that either.
What I do lean towards is the fact, like, why does someone need a military grade rifle?
I agree with you there.
Why do we need assault rifle?
I think that is a little bit like, okay, so there's a lot of individuals that are going to say, there's a lot of individuals that are going to say, you know, the Second Amendment is put into place because of, you know, tyrannical governments getting out of play and then being able to stand up for yourselves to be able to defend your rights or your country and whatever it is that you have to do. So looking at where the military status is with their weaponry, it doesn't matter if you have an assault rifle or not, there would be, you wouldn't be able to stand up against it. But still,
you wouldn't have a tank.
I get the understanding of some of these individuals where they say, okay, the assault rifle is right for that situation because it's going to be the only thing that can kind of get me to be able to last in this situation. Now,
I wish,
I don't agree with this, but I'm just saying that I know that there's individuals that would have that perspective out there. I think, though, that the weapons that are being used in school shootings do tend to be the assault rifles, do tend to be the automatic rifles that are able to do a lot of mass killings very fast. And that's not a hunting weapon, you know?
I wish I should have known we would have done this, like, we were doing this, like, beforehand, because I got a friend who actually collects a lot of guns, and he has a lot of assault rifles, and he has shotguns and all this other stuff, and he's very against, you know, the gun regulation and stuff like that, and he feels really strongly about this, and he has a lot. I've heard him ramble on and rant. I'm not ramble, but, you know, just rant on as far as, like, the whole gun control policy. And I wish we could have him on here because he has assault rifles, and he's just a gun collector. I mean, you know, he likes going out and shooting them. I mean, it's a passion for some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You could probably explain it more why you would need that or why you would want that. You know what I mean? Because we don't understand that because we don't have assault rifle. I don't know if you do, Ian.
You don't have a passion for
No,
it.
I don't. But
you don't have like a huge passion for it, like, you know, like he does. You know what I mean? Like, he had an AK. I shot an AK. It was fun. It was fun to shoot an AK.
Yeah. But I mean, couldn't you? I don't know.
So that's I mean, going on that point though, going on that point with Steve-O too is this, you know, my father-in-law, he owns a lot of weapons, a lot of guns. You know, he's got an assault rifle too as well. Now, he's not mentally unstable. He's not the guy that's going to be going in there with his assault rifle doing crazy things. He does have that weapon because he enjoys weapons. He loves weapons.
Right.
He's passionate about it. Now he'll go out there. I don't even know if he shoots it often, you know. But if he's going to be going somewhere where it's safe and secure to go do it. He's a gun owner who's extremely responsible with his weapons. You know, there's not situations where he's ever being irresponsible with them. And he's a hunter too. He likes to go out and he likes to go hunting. And it's one of those things that's something that gives him a lot of like excitement and passion in life, you know, and it's not where it's being used in the wrong way. Now that's that part where that regulation comes into play. So like the assault rifle, maybe you can't go hunting with it, you know. He loves it. He enjoys it. I see where he's got the passion. Do I still?
So he collects it. That's the only. Like, it's just to shoot
it's kind of a collector / go shoot at a range
So,
or something if he wants
you know
to.
how like
with
a
it, you know?
boat has to sit at a dock? Can't your AK sit at a firing range? And then when you want to use it, you go in there and shoot in a regulated area. You
Maybe
can't
that's
bring it out.
You know, that's. I think for some people they're gonna feel like that's a violation of their their. I don't know. I kind of like that idea, Clay, but I'm going to say that I see that other individuals might see that as being like, that's my boat. I want it to sit outside my house and not on that dock if I don't have to. You know, like you're making me do that is a different story than I feel like I want to do that. Like if you give people that option to do that, you know, and you say you get tax breaks or something that gives them some type of benefit in some way or another.
Yeah. That would be great, right? Stuff like that.
Forced to have to do it, you know, like
absolutely.
That's going to make people resistant, and that's going to make them think that you're leaning more towards the idea of you're taking away my guns. Now, if I have to have that situation, the assault rifle, tyrannical government comes across, you've got my shit. You know, you got everybody's shit. That's the point of me having it, or I have it only for that reason and that reason only. I have it for the collection, and I like to touch it and play with it. You know.
And the other thing people really like, I feel like there's always just black or white. It's the people with guns, which that's all I hear. I never hear of like what we need to do to like stop people from having guns. It's just no, people with guns kill guns, and we need to leave it at that. Or it's we need to take all away the guns. But I really believe it's a combination of stronger, more responsible regulation of guns, a better psychology, and gut check into our pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And a better security system for the public stuff. So like we talked about all these little things, and a lot of time people get hung up. It's like, well, let's put the fence and the metal detector. No, that's not enough. It's like, well, okay, it might not be enough on its own, but this combined with that, combined with this, is guaranteed to see a lesser degree of gun shooting.
Are there any other countries out there that have gun control, like besides like what you're saying? Just taking, well, I'm not saying, but taking away all the guns though. Like I'm just saying, did they have like anything that we're talking about now, like harder to get guns and everything?
I was gonna say I'm unaware of that too.
Because if there is, then why would we just indoctrinate that way? You know,
I understand that it's a little bit inconvenient, but I don't understand why someone would just want to get the gun inspected every year. It's inconvenient, but just like it is inconvenient to take your shoes off going into a metal detector.
Well, maybe it's not an every year thing though. Maybe it's like you go to renew your driver's license, right? You do that every 4 or 8 years, depending on how you apply.
Like so, but your car has to get inspected every year. So
only for the what do you call it? Only for what do you your exhaust kind of deal. You're saying, right?
Yeah,
that's the only thing. That's the only thing that happens with the car inspections here in Georgia.
Because the exhaust has a chance to kill a lot of people if it's unchecked. So why don't you get a psych test every year or something like that? A quick little like, how you doing? Did you get fired? Did you lose your job? No. Are you on any medication? No. Blah blah blah. Boom,
I feel the same thing with
did your wife cheat on?
And
something like that. Just like get a little bit into the person. Like no, okay, cool.
I was gonna say I feel the same way about older people with driver's license. I mean, I see some people drive the thing and they're like, one lady, she's like signed her thing. She's like, I can't. I'm legally blind, right?
Yeah, it's like, get this license out of this woman's hands.
Why are you driving right now? Should I call somebody? Yeah, exactly. Like, I've literally had somebody say that. Just say, I'm legally blind, or you know that, right? Just like, and they sign like underneath the friggin' part they're supposed to sign. So I think that they should absolutely get like retested when you get a certain age or something like that. Like, or every time you go to get a driver's license, you have to like do the eye test or do the driving test or something again.
No, so I guess trying to take guns away.
I guess on this point, like we should do it like you were saying, like it's not a black and white situation, Clay. We got to learn from my son here, okay? I told him this one the other day. I said, "Yo, son, things are not black and white." He's like, I go, "Things aren't just black and white. There's shades of gray, son." And he goes, "Yeah, also blue, green, orange. It's the same situation. We got to kind of not. It's not just like, hey, you take them all away, or hey, you do this. There's got to be." there's not one solution to that problem. There's
Right.
there's multiple solutions that have to be in play at the same time for actually to be successful in that I guess change. You know?
I
Absolutely.
definitely agree that there should be some revamp of the whole system. And definitely, being a gun owner. is not
I was going to
saying-
say, being a gun owner, do you think it was difficult? Do you think it should be harder for individuals to?
Quite honestly, yes. Yes, because my wife bought it for me, and literally, on Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, we drove over there, and I just signed a piece of paper and got my gun.
Wow.
And think about it. Like, if you are mentally unstable and you're like, okay, I'm gonna shoot people. Step one, get a gun. It's like, well, you got to go through all these hoops.
Yeah.
That's gonna weed out. Like, I'm not saying this is gonna solve it, but it's gonna weed out some of these lazy psychos who are like,
Yep.
nah, it's too much trouble. I'm just not gonna do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, they just might not go through that then if they have to jump through hoops. So the people who are responsible and really want to have these guns, like the people
They'll go
who
through
really
that.
deserve to use
Yeah.
these guns, like unfortunately a lot of these people who are advocating no gun control, they
Right.
actually are the ones that deserve the guns. They'll be the ones that have them. And
Yeah.
what we're saying is that those that are lazy and psychotic will not have the guns.
And
I gotcha.
the whole thing too about with money, like you're saying that it costs money to do all this and everything. But the thing is like it all comes down to our government too, because like I've seen, there's been like reports in the paper saying that like we've used like $500,000 to replace like I don't know like light bulbs in the lights or something like that for like the entire county or something. I mean, like some of that stuff can be used for other stuff too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Instead of just
yeah.
like, I wouldn't say that's stupid, but like other stuff like
This goes back down to when we were talking about should weed be legal. Look at all the money they're spending on like cracking down on cops' time to like spend on that and like tax dollars to keep people in the jail and to write
Right.
all those reports for them spending overtime because they caught a bunch of stuff. You
Yep.
take that out, you make weed legal, you get a lot more money now in the federal system. Boom, put that right
Use
into
that
protecting
towards
our
that.
children that are going to school every day
Right.
that deserve to be able to go to a movie theater and watch a fucking film without feeling scared.
we figured it
Yep.
out, guys.
Yep.
We
And
figured it
not
out.
only that, if and
Maelstrom
if they
gamers for
realize
president.
that, people wouldn't want to go out and go shooting.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
too stoned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They'd be more docile.
Like I don't want to shoot anybody, man.
Nah, man. I was
All right, guys.
pizza, man.
Thank you for entertaining me with that topic because that was good. We're going to go into our final topic. It is also my topic, and it's going to be a little bit lighter of a subject. We're going to talk about collector's editions. Collector's
Collector's
editions in
editions.
video games. What do you
Yeah.
think about them? Are they cool? Are they not cool? They're too expensive? Are they not expensive enough to get what you paid for? Should we have them?
Okay, I'm gonna just jump right
Favorite
into this.
collector's edition?
I honestly think collector's editions are stupid. Quite honestly.
What? Stupid.
Yes.
Just
These
they're
are, like,
dumb.
straight
Why am I gonna
They
pay more
failed.
for
I'm
a
out.
fucking case and a poster, and I'm gonna pay $20 more? Like give me more content in the game. Give me.
Don't you
extra
love
level.
Ian?
Give
Don't you
something
love
else.
him on the show? Yes.
I'm gonna have to say because like, remember Rocco when Destiny first came out, we paid the extra $20. We're like, we're gonna get a weapon that nobody else gets and everything like that. The
Yeah.
weapon was like outgraded with like
Yeah.
after level 5. Like it was just
Yeah.
that was ridiculous. I was like, I paid $20 more for that. You know what I mean? And like you got some people that paid $150 for like collector's edition. You got like, you got like the little collectible toy that almost looked like was that eye thing? You seen that, Rock?
No, which one is this?
Remember, it was like a special collector's edition. You paid 150 or 170 bucks, but you remember the eye
Destiny?
that followed? Yeah, the eye that followed you around. You got that. You also got like a book like saying that you got a certificate saying that you got the collector's edition, all this other stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I would not take it that far, especially to a game that just came out and nobody really knows about. You know what I mean? Like, why would you
What if
even
it's a
buy
flop?
that? Exactly. What if it's a flop? I mean, you just paid all that money. I think it's just like a way to get like kids to get their parents to spend more money on something.
Well,
they don't need
okay,
to.
so here's what I'll say. There's like I'm kind of like middle ground with this one. Like I lean towards I don't buy many collector's editions like ever. Now the only times that I do is when I feel like whoever put together that package, that collector's edition package, did a really great job, and I feel like I'm gonna get a lot more out of the game, or a lot more quality kind of side items or whatever it is that I feel like that package was built really right. I'll get that, and that's worth it for me at that point. Most of the time I don't buy the collector's editions at all. I just buy the regular game, go with it. I did do it with the Destiny situation, like you're saying, Steve. Very disappointed with what had came out of that
Right.
that package, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
You knew
but
it was
there's
in
been-
that package, right?
Huh?
You knew what that was?
We knew it was going to be
Yeah.
in there. We just didn't know exactly what that gun was going to be. It was just like, oh, you got this really
Yeah,
cool
you
gun.
got a
Okay, so I
legendary
got the
gun that
cool
nobody
gun.
else. Yeah.
But then, like
just
Steve-O
went
said,
mad.
it was outdated in a matter of no time. And like, well, then I just wait. I spent $20 for that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like was
no
that
point.
worth it for me? You know, so there's some collector's editions that I feel like are worth it with certain kind of games. Like World of Warcraft might have been one of those ones I would do it just for if you love the lore of World of Warcraft. If you're not a lover of the lore, if you're not a lover of that, you know, in that deep of the game, then I'd say it's probably not worth it at all.
Yeah.
You know, but I'd like to hear what Clay has to say about this, to be honest, because he, you know, when it comes to the gaming industry and he's involved in it, appreciate that, Mama Dixie. He's going to probably have a better understanding of how these are even put together and why the collector's editions are put together.
Yeah. So
It seems like us three are not really the biggest fans of it. I mean, we'll do it every once in a while if it's worth it, but you know,
Yeah,
I tend to see that it's not worth it as much, more than.
Yeah. Can you name something that was worth it, Clay?
well, it is like the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The collection editions are as valuable as those who want them. So I can't personally name one because I have no attachment strong enough to warrant that price tag.
Okay.
However, I believe it is a very smart business model because up until this point, we have locked everyone into this like uniformed box of you pay this game, it's $60, and everybody it will have that value of $60. However, there are people that are like are fanatics for Destiny, for Halo, for Gears of War,
Yeah.
and they are willing to spend more if they were to be offered more. And so you now open up the door for those who are willing to spend for a legendary edition for $90 or the goddamn collector's edition for $150, and it gets you the statue that you really want. And it's like it's a way for a fan to put money into it, but it also allows those people who don't want to be suckered into that, don't find value in that, they just want to play the game to check it out for the $60. And in fact, I think different price tiers should be broken up even further, and it's really stemming from a free-to-play model. You have the people who are willing to want to try this game for free, and that's great. There's the people who want to pay for a little bit more extended experience for DLC, and that's awesome too. And then there's those who want to like not only get the game, get the extended experience, but also like flaunt their fandom by getting these like collector's editions and going into more of the lore by getting these like soundtracks and getting these books, and then like finding out like how the concept art evolved over time. So like there's all these different price points that people are allowed to pay for, and I think it's great for the customer, and I think it's a great business model for the developers because the developers are now finding new ways of getting income in a time when video games are just coming out your ears and the competition is fierce, and you got to be able to like separate yourself from the other company.
What do you think about like the collector editions, like PlayStations? Like they have a Destiny, they have a Gears of War edition.
Same thing, man.
The thing is, like, those are collectors. You think people are trading in their old ones just to get those ones?
Oh yeah.
And like, also, I was gonna say they haven't just been doing this recently. Didn't they do this back then too? With like, remember the gold Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
That was a
actually,
collector's
I have
edition
those.
too. Yeah, I mean,
I was just
that's worth money, right? That's still worth money.
Well, and that's what I was gonna kind of go towards was that I have never personally bought any collector's edition game or anything because I just don't see the value in that spending that extra money. To me, that extra $30 or $40 is a half another game that I can buy in a few months.
It's true.
So,
Yeah.
and get still hours and hours of enjoyment and kind of expand my gaming. But when I was younger, my dad did buy the very first, second, and third Zelda in the gold edition. Now, smart move. I mean, they're sitting up in a box somewhere, but they're probably worth gold now, you know, because those aren't that available, and they're probably more rare to actually find that. So,
I would say, okay, so on collector's editions, like you were talking about different levels of tiers of pay and stuff like that. First off, collector's editions, like you stated, smart ass business plan, right? Now you've got Now you've opened the door where it's not just the free-to-play people, like you were calling it, the people that are just going to pay the $60 minimum, get the game, that's it, play it, and expand your horizon, like Ian was saying too. But there's other individuals that are like, I'll go spend that extra 30, extra 40, extra 100 if I have to. And so they've opened up the door to a lot more, a lot more money for themselves.
You know, it's
Now-
you know, it's fun. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say the only game that I did buy another game that wasn't a collector edition version that I had purchased, but it was one of those ones that you were talking about, Clay. That was just a higher tier of payment. So I guess you can call it collector edition, although I wouldn't really classify it that. It was just more money for some extra benefits. Now I did that for Battlefield 4, and for me that was worth it. Like you could go do the $60 tier, you could do the $80 tier, you could do. I think that was it, really.
Yeah.
And I did the $80 tier or 90. I think it was one or the other. Now what it gave you was like a whole bunch of extra battle packs and DLCs and different things. And I was like, okay, totally worth it because I get all these new maps that we know they're going to be coming out in the next 6 months to a year. I get those for that money, so that's like money going towards that already that I would have probably invested in. 2, I get all these awesome battle packs. Now, they made it very, very lucrative for that person that bought that package, right? It wasn't like, oh, you get 2 battle packs. Congratulations.
I got the same one, yeah.
And it's a piece of shit. You're like, no, I got 20 freaking battle packs. Like, I've got, a bonus XP out the yin-yang, new items, new scopes, new stuff. It's like, that
worth
was
it.
quality right there.
And you spent $80 on a game.
Or 90,
Right.
I think it might have been.
Or 90,
And it was
as opposed to
30
60.
bucks more. Just like I said, for me, I saw the value in the extra DLCs, the battle packs, because I was like, okay, what they're stating to me is worth it, and I'm seeing it here. My other story of Destiny was, I saw there was a legendary gun, but we didn't know the stats of it.
And
we didn't know what it was gonna be like. Okay, I didn't know what it was gonna be like for the battle packs, but I knew I was gonna have 20 dice to roll on, and I was going to have 20 different opportunities to get something crazy, and I know that some of them, even if it's 4, is going to be something that I'm going to find beneficial to me.
And that's where they got us too, because like me and Rocco probably aren't that tier person where we're going to go spend $150 to get like a big thing. We're that tier person that is like a weapon that nobody else is going to have, and we're going to have it, and we're going to be able to level faster and be
that
better
extra
already.
Leverage, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of type of player we're like, okay, we'll have the extra leverage, so that's what made it worth it to us, but it ended up not being in the end, you know what I mean? But the battle pack thing, everything was great, yeah.
Yeah, the battle pack one for
that was awesome.
And now, like I said, it wasn't a collector's edition, but it was the higher tier payment that you could pay to get that gamer to invest a little bit more money.
Or something.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to call it, but it was, first off, great idea from them,
Yeah.
But 2, for the gamer, and at least when it came to Battlefield, I feel like I got a lot more out of it. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed that. That was one, sell where they got me on a little bit more money, but it was totally worth it at the end of the day.
And it's an interesting reflection on our culture, because with the rise of MySpace and then Facebook, we're seeing people not be these cookie cutter, like, I fall into this person. Like, there are subgenres of just individualism, right? So like, I'm an individual who likes to do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And then we're starting to see this creep up into our business models, in particular what we're talking about, video games. So like, there's that person, like, because I'm not only a first-person shooter, now I'm like, I really like Battlefield, and I like this, and I like that about Battlefield. So now people are trying to sell not just to first-person shooters, but the Battlefield people were like compartmentalizing the different types of Battlefield players. Like, there's the casual, there's the hardcore.
Now, is that happening only because they've had years to establish that now? Like, because obviously it wasn't happening at the beginning. When Battlefield 1 first came out, that wasn't occurring. But now they've got a following only because of several years of creating games and games and games. Is it only those guys, or can the other people leverage now too? The small games that just come out, can they leverage now off of that? Because they're like, hey, people are building communities, like, and they're selling it this way. Gamers are getting used to buying this way.
Yeah,
Let's sell that way too.
Absolutely, exactly. That's my point. Is like Facebook allows you to be your own person. You don't have to fall into a group of sheep to follow and like people are buying Battlefield, I'm gonna buy Battlefield. It's like, I get to pick the game that I am passionate about, and then I get to like put money into that game. We have so much. Yeah, like there's just groups of there's so many people now. There's so many like love for different things, and so many things available that like you don't have to be the every first person shooter. You can just be that Battlefield guy, and they have something for you. And I think that's really smart. So I think it's gonna, in everything you'll see that now. A lot of things at least.
I gotcha. I like that
Like,
model though. I like the free to play model, like the Clash of Clans, the League of Legends. I love that free to play model because it gives that
works.
gamer the ability to play the game, and it's very like I think it's smart. I think as long as you got a quality game, right? As long as you got a quality game, you're gonna get people investing in your game. Probably more than the $60,
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I spent $5 in League, and I've had more value in that game than I had in like probably 10 games combined that were 60.
You differ from myself. I've spent several dollars on that game, because I like the skins. I like the different champions.
Right.
I like to and I don't have 5 years of playing it where I have IP stacked up to be able to buy champions for free, where it's you just play the game for free, build up free pretty much money. Buy characters with that free money. Now that takes a long time to do. For me, I'm loving this game. I want to be invested in this game right now. I want to play the champions now. So that free-to-play model, for me, right, as the individual that you were talking about, that works hardcore for me.
Dude, I
just
just thought,
like, I'm playing it for free. I'm loving it. It's awesome.
what
I want that.
what if they made a MOBA, kind of like League of Legends, but with Pokemon, and you had to buy Pokemon in order to fight different ways?
Yeah,
that would be pretty interesting.
That would be very, very popular in most of the games.
Like,
That would be
like that where it's
pretty
an arena
funny.
style, like a WoW
Right.
arena style, where it's like a 5v5 kind of in a small place, but you're playing your Pokemons.
Yeah, you can have a
Pokemons.
Blastoise as a support, and like a Charizard as an ADC.
They actually they made one for
Oh, so they did make something like that then.
No, not Pokemon, but they did White. The
All
ring.
I'm saying is I'd probably be down for that.
Yeah,
I like that. I like the whole business model what you're talking about those as far as that, because I think you end up getting more out of the end because they do the same thing with apps. I mean, you buy you Farmville or something, then you buy coins. You know what I mean?
It's just, there's a lot now. Look, they could be very abused.
Yeah.
And it could hurt the thing. So I'm not advocating that every game needs to go down this way, but for a lot of games that we're seeing, that we're talking about, are really great for the consumer and for the publisher. Like if League of Legends was a $60 experience and that's all you got, and then you know what I mean? Like
If that was it, they wouldn't have these professional LOL Worlds tournaments going on with the publicity that they're getting, and then none of that stuff would even be occurring if they had it set up as just a $60 fee. They would just be coming up with their next new game. They make an extra $60. Now this game they can keep making better and better and better and better because there's
Adding
people
more
still investing in
characters.
it. They're still putting money into the game. They haven't hit that $60 cap and stopped.
Yeah, I can't imagine how much they make a month, but it's got to be in the millions.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with all the merchandise, you see people making.
They even
stuff
set it up so smart where it's like you spend a certain amount of money to get RP points that once you go to buy something, it's like you never have enough RP to buy that second item. You always have like 10 or 15 RP away because they've structured it with the pricings of those, of everything to be where you have to keep investing. You got to put that extra 5 in for that now, or that,
Yep.
So it's smart. That all goes back to that, you were saying the collector's editions, marketing schemes, ways of how to make more money, and I think they're coming up with smart ways, man.
Yeah.
They're finding every little individual out there, like you were saying, the individualized buyer, the individualized consumer, and finding ways to sell to every one of those individuals.
Right. And Rocco, when you were saying you could spend the extra 10 or 15, $20, those little tier systems, that I'm cool with because just like a Battlefield or Call of Duty, those maps are going to come out later on.
DLCs,
so, hey, later on it's going to be $20, but if you pay $15 today for it, already kind of buy it, totally cool with it. I just don't. I never was really big into the collector's editions where you got the extra book and you get a poster and you get this and that. And a special case on top of the other case.
But I know people that are all about that too. You know what I mean? They're all about that book. They're all about that book.
Never used it. Never used it. Have it still.
What is that?
It's
Poster
a poster.
for Destiny.
From what?
I don't even know why I have it. Let's check.
Let me pop it open.
I don't even know what game it is. You're blurry too, by the way. Now you're coming up.
Battlefield. No. Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare, yep.
Advanced Warfare. I got it.
I
don't even have that game, I don't think.
You probably pre-ordered it or something.
Yeah. I did pre-order. You're right. I didn't even grab it though. I don't even know why I have this still. I'm not saving it. I honestly, I don't know.
You should give it away.
Yeah, it is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Yeah, I was gonna give it away. If you donate on patreon.com right now, $1, I'll send you this poster.
There you go. All right, guys. That's going to be it for our show this week. I really appreciate all the discussions we had. Ian, did you want to say something?
No, I was just being animated.
Oh, you just... All right, awesome. Sweet, yeah.
It's like,
so,
off my gowns, baby.
so just as a reminder, guys, the Maelstrom Gamers, each and every week, this is what we do. We go on a Skype, and we each bring a topic for your discussion and for our discussion, for your entertainment. And each discussion is its own topic, and each topic is its own video on YouTube from Monday through Friday, day by day. And then on Saturdays, the full episode. You can get all that on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/MaelstromGamers channel. Head over there, check out our stuff. Free support means you guys subscribing to our channel and commenting below. Other free support includes Facebook and our Twitter. Follow us there, like us there, follow us on our Instagram account. It's really, really helpful. It means a lot. Those who are doing it, it's really great. And listen, if you want to support us even more, for just $1, you can go on to patreon.com/MaelstromGamers. Throw us $1. It'd be really appreciative. We give you rewards for each different tier price. You can give $5, you can give $10, but at the very least, you probably just give $1, and that'd be so awesome. You get a free episode that's just available for Patreon subscribers. Go on there, be a supporter. It's really great. This is it for our episode. Next week we'll have another episode for you. So in the meantime, keep thinking about everything and nothing.
You got it.
It's been an honor to entertain you guys. Peace and take care.
Adios.
Peace.